Stay tuned as these two West Bank rivals battle it out at Tiger Stadium.
From Tiger Stadium in Boutte, Louisiana, it's the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week. Tonight, the Hahnville Tigers battle the Archbishop Shaw Eagles. And a pleasant good evening to you. I'm Ken Trahan along with Renee Nadeau. Glad to have you with us for what we think is going to be a classic football game. The Hahnville Tigers, state champions in Class 4A last year, making the step up this year. The Shaw Eagles, a state champion in '87, a perennial power and district champion in the Catholic League. And Renee, Shaw has all the weapons offensively, don't they?
They really do, Kenny, and there's a lot of keys to this game from both sides. First of all, Shaw must not give up any big plays. They must control the ball. They're going to run some misdirection. The reason being because Hahnville, they run to the ball very, very well. Also, Shaw must have their defensive ends turn everything in. There's a lot of speed in that Hahnville backfield.
Speaking of the Shaw Eagles, the third member of our broadcast team is Lance Jacob, who is down on the field now visiting with Archbishop Shaw head football coach Hank Tierney. Lance?
Tonight's game can be heard live on WSMB 1350 AM.
Thank you, Kenny. Field level now with Coach Hank Tierney of the Shaw Eagles. Coach, some relationship here between the two head coaches.
Yeah, we go way back. I coached him when he was a player, and he coached Underwood his first job, and we stayed close over the years. He's a very good friend.
Coach, premier matchup is going to be won or lost on the field here. What kind of problems does Hahnville prevent for the Shaw Eagles?
Great speed on offense, great tailback, quarterback who won to sled him to a state championship, 15 games under his belt. Typical Darren defense, real aggressive, run to the ball.
Immediate news, the field's a little wet. Any problems there?
And we wish it was dry. You know, we like to run the option. We like to pitch the ball. You know, so the wet field not helping us. But you got to play the cards you dealt. So we're just gonna do the best we can.
Same field for both teams. Back up to you, Kenny.
All right, thank you very much, Lance. Renee, Chuck Parquette, an all-Metro quarterback, certainly will be highly recruited, whether at quarterback, wide receiver, running back, defensive back. He can almost name his position because he's that kind of athlete.
He is. He's got the speed. He's a little faster than Mickey Joseph. He throws the ball a little better than Vance Joseph. And those two guys have had etched their names in the Shaw record books.
Bruce James is one of the best running backs you'll find in the metro area. Jarvis Redo, perhaps the most recruited lineman in the South. Jamal Pack, a great tight end. But when you talk about offense, Renee, Hahnville has its own stable. You talk about a fine arsenal. Clifton White is as good a quarterback as you'll find.
And Clifton White, every time he's got under the center the last 22 outings, it's been a W for Hahnville. And he's going for a streak here. Since he's been a freshman, he's been a quarterback for the Hahnville Tigers.
Rondell Honor, a fine running back. Chris Haynes, a premier receiver.
He is 4.5 speed, and you'll hear that name quite a bit tonight on the end of a lot of passes from the quarterback.
The question about this game tonight is, can anybody stop anybody? We'll find out very soon. The Shaw Eagles and the Hahnville Tigers are coming up next, live from Tiger Stadium. When we return, we'll have the opening kickoff in just a moment. Stay with us. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
Prep Football on Cox Cable is brought to you by Kenner on the Move and by Bone Ford in New Orleans, your 15-minute confidence dealership.
At the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner, 5 cents goes a long way. The Pontchartrain Center has over 35,000 square feet of exhibit space and 6 spacious meeting rooms, all for just 5 cents a square foot. If you're looking for a place to hold your next convention, meeting, seminar, or banquet, Kenner's Pontchartrain Center is New Orleans' newest meeting alternative. All meal functions are catered by Marie's to assure the finest in banquet cuisine. When you're looking for a quality convention or meeting facility with affordable rates, call the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner.
The 94s are coming, and the 93s must go. And at the original Bone Ford in New Orleans, we're slashing the prices on all new 93s to make room for the 94s. You can get a new 93 Crown Victoria at $3,500 off, or take the Bronco with $6,800 off, or the exciting Taurus SHO with $6,500 off. And they've got all the extras. Every new car, truck, and van will be drastically reduced, so hurry in for low prices, high trade-ins, and low interest rates. These deals won't last long, so come to the original Bone Ford in New Orleans, your 15-minute confidence dealer.
This fall, the new force in prep football is back on Channel 26. Friday Night Football, hosted by Ed Daniels and one of Louisiana's winningest football coaches, J.T. Curtis.
Job last year, got Chalmette.
The only place place for New Orleans sports fans to catch the complete wrap-up of prep football action is...
Congratulations to them and their coach.
Friday Night Football, live. Fridays at 10:30 on WGNO.
Ken Trahan along with Renee Nato were set for the kickoff. Shaw and Hahnville from a sold-out Tiger Stadium. One of the best kickers in the Deep South, Quinn Guidry, will be kicking off for Hahnville. A look at the Tigers sideline. They're ready for action. Deep to receive for Shaw, Barry Smith, and Chris James. Guidry is used to kicking them in the end zone, folks, and he will do just that. That's a touchback. And Shaw will put it in play 1st and 10 from the 20-yard lines. And look at the Shaw offensive front, Renee. It's a very good one.
Yes, and Redo and Bay, both excellent big men for the Shaw Eagles. And we said Redo at 6'6", 282-pounder, and also Bay is 6'6", 275-pounder. He's a big one.
The backs and receivers equally as good.
Parquet is the trigger man. He's the fuel that makes that engine run, and you'll see a lot of Chuck Parquet both on the ground and in the air.
Chucky Parquet under center. Chris Salzman will snap the football. Shaw with the two backs, Bruce James and Juma Elo behind him, the split backs. The tight end pack tucked in on the right side on 1st down and 10 yards to go. And movement, the tight end pack was premature, a bit too excited. 5 yards against the Eagles will make it 1st and 15.
And the one thing about Shaw, they have to erase what has happened last year at Hahnville. This is a big game for both teams, and sometimes this Hahnville crowd can kind of rattle the visitors just a little bit. Jamal Pack, he's only a junior, all-district sophomore. And you see the Hahnville defense right there, Pierre Johnson, and Jones, and what a solid defensive unit that is for the Tigers.
Davis, McKenzie, and Simmons, the linebackers. Phillips, Bruce, Brown, and Downs on the secondary. Parquet to throw, has Pack, who loses the football. It's incomplete. Did not have possession of the ball long enough. A little slant over the middle to the tight end Pack. Ricky Bruce was in on the play, jumping on the football, thinking it might have been a fumble, but that play goes as an incomplete pass. He didn't have possession, and it will be 2nd down and 15. A well-thrown ball by Chuck Parquet.
And Jamal Pack stretched that 6'3", 230-pound frame across the middle, and he was met by Ricky Bruce. Ricky Bruce makes the big plays for the Tigers in 92. He started up the 93 season with another big hit for Hahnville.
2nd down, 15 yards to go for the Eagles. Again, the split backs, a single receiver split out wide to the left side. Parquet under center with the snap. He runs the option play. He's got the corner. He's at the 30. He's at the 41, man to beat at midfield. The 45, the 40, the 33-yard line. 1st down, Shaw at the Hahnville 33.
And Parquet with that 4-5 speed, Kenny, he just turned that, operated that option expertly and really left the cornerback with nothing but air grabbing at it. And what an outstanding run by the quarterback. And here we go with the replay. Great faking in the middle. A lot of ball handling for that option of the Shaw quarterback. And you see Parquet turn the corner, 4-5 speed. What an outstanding run by an outstanding athlete.
Big play for the Eagles, 53 yards, 1st down, 10 yards to go from the Hahnville 32 officially. The snap and the give to Juma Elo. Elo crosses the 30 and down to about the 28 off right tackle, running behind big Jarvis Redo and Nashel Menard. The tackle made by the left defensive end, Damon Jones. It will be 2nd down and about 6 yards to go.
One thing that Darren Barbier was very concerned about, Ken, is that he didn't want to give it the big play defensively, and he started the game off giving up a big run by Parquet. Now they come back with a run, and I think that Shaw's just going to work on him. You see Parquet with some outstanding numbers from 1992.
2nd down and 6 yards to go. Officially the 29-yard line, and a flag is down. That will likely work against the Eagles, thrown by the side judge. Now they're pointing at the defense, and we'll see if we can pick it up. It's on Hahnville.
Encroachment on the defense, 5 yards.
So it's going to work against Hahnville. Encroachment will cost the Tigers 5 yards, and that will give the Eagles a very favorable 2nd and 2. That's a fun down if you're an offensive coach, Renee.
It really is, and now they have short distance here in 2nd down. And the one thing we mentioned as well, you see the coaching staff, Darren Barbier, doing an outstanding job from the sidelines, and he's going to be really concerned with his defense. Must run to the ball and really make Shaw with some mistakes.
Quarterback Parquet shouting instructions at the line of scrimmage. Receivers to either side, takes the snap on the keeper, the pitch. James running right. James has the 20, the 15, the 14-yard line, and another 1st down for the Eagles. About 10 yards, and now the ball is lost, and Hahnville recovers the football via a fumble, and the Tigers have come up with the 1st turnover of the ball game.
Big play for the Hahnville defense, and they gave up a big play, but they come up with another one, Kenny, and what an outstanding hit. And Rick recovery. You can see Chuck Parquet with some outstanding faking right here, pitching back to James. And James, great average, 6.6 yards per carry with a big hit right here. Ball pops loose. The Tigers on top of it. And the Tigers, and you see a recovery right here. That was
Sturdy Downs on the hit, and Corey Simmons, the outstanding two-way performer with the recovery. Big play for Hahnville, their first possession. First and 10 of the 14 will set their offense after this play. Clifton White, the quarterback, giving to the tailback, who breaks one tackle and then is swarmed down at about the 14-yard line. Maybe a yard, and that's all for Rondell Honor. Errol Farness on the tackle.
See the offense by the Hahnville Tigers, some big guys up front, not quite as big as the Shaw Eagles, but they're going to do a lot of scheme blocking, a lot of different blocking to maybe offset that terrific rush by the Shaw Eagle defense.
White's an outstanding quarterback. Harris and Honor in the backfield. Haynes, Austin, and Joyce, the tight end. A gain of 1 on the last play. Second down, a short 9. One receiver wide to the right side. Twin backs again. White on the straight, keeper running right. White scissoring past a tackler, fighting through another, but then being driven back after picking up only about a yard or 2 on the play. The Shaw defense very stiff on the left defensive side. They fluctuate their defensive linemen, Renee. They'll move people to either side, so you have to keep a close eye on that. And we take a look at the Shaw defensive front.
And Cialino, the left defensive end, is out. He will be replaced by A. Bear. You have Camp, the brother of Charlie Camp, who's now in Arizona. Farness and Grimes, a big defensive front for the Eagles. Delat, Bustamante, and Pertwee, the linebackers for the Shaw Eagles. Very, very active. Play from sideline to sideline. Palermo, Grigsby, Wilson, and Roy, the other cornerback for Hank Tierney's group.
Safeties are good ones. Grigsby and Wilson. Third down and 7. Flags down. That'll blow the play dead. The quarterback White keeping, but hold on. Nothing's going on here. This play is coming back. The flag was thrown.
We have a false start on 79. Play it down low.
So a little bit premature on the Hahnville side of things, and a 5-yard penalty, and as a result, it will be 3rd down and 12 for the Tigers, who thus far haven't really gotten untracked offensively. 9:01 to play. First quarter from Tiger Stadium, sold out, standing room only. No score. Ken Trahan along with Renee Nadeau. Lance Jacob down on the field. We'll check in with him in just a few minutes. Plays being run in from the sideline with the split ends, Austin and Terrence Dunmiles. And if the name Dunmiles sounds familiar, Renee, there's a reason for that.
Yes, it is. His brother, Dwayne Dunmiles, is now back for the McNeese State Cowboys and had an outstanding career here for Hahnville.
3rd and 12, the 11-yard line. Shotgun formation. White with the snap. Has time. Looking, throwing, sideline incomplete. Intended for Chris Haynes. And good coverage over there on the play. And the coverage applied by Ecom Grigsby, the safety, and it will be 4th down and a punting situation for the Hahnville Tigers. As we look at the Shaw sideline, what a coaching staff the Eagles have, Renee. They've done a terrific job for so many years now.
Many, many assistant coaches have gone on to some success elsewhere, and Darren Barbier is a very prime example of some of the great players and coaches have gone on to success elsewhere after leaving Shaw.
We'll watch one of the best all-around kickers in America here, Quinn Guidry, in punt formation, standing in his end zone. Takes the snap and gets the kick off in pretty good shape, and it's an end-over-end kick, and it's fumbled, and it appears that the Eagles got it back. Dangerous attempt to field the football there, and it almost cost the Eagles, but not quite. Shaw will have the football. Ricky Wilson and Bruce James were back there, and the Eagles come up with it in great field position at the Hahnville 47-yard line. 1st down and 10. Now, here's a reminder. You can see the replay of tonight's game, folks, on Saturday at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. and Sunday morning at 11 a.m. on Cox Metro Channel 10. Eagles' second possession. Their first ended in a turnover. 1st and 10. The Hahnville 47. The split backs behind Parkett once more. And the give to James and a hole. James straight through the gut. The 35 breaks a tackle to 30. He's down to the Hahnville 28. He's got 19 yards and a 1st down for Shaw.
And once again, Bruce James is ticketed to be the all-time leading rusher in Shaw Eagle High School history. He's got outstanding leg strength for a man his size, 5'9", 155. Hits the hole, got great vision right here, Kenny. Cuts on a dime, even though it's a wet field. Cuts against the grain, breaks the tackle right there. And once again, outstanding individual effort, but also credit that inside line, Jarvis Rito and Jeremy Bay, outstanding blocking for the Eagles.
Of course, we have the benefit of replays here for our folks listening tonight here on WSMB 1350 AM. On 1st down, the keeper by Parkett shakes 2 tackles, a flag, breaks another tackle across the 20. He's down to the 18, but this one might be coming back. Flag was thrown right at the point of attack of a block that was taking place around the 28-yard line, and indeed it's
on the offense.
Parkett, an all-district quarterback last year,
right from here.
Penalty's going to be marked off against the Shaw Eagles.
And you see Chuck Parquette with an outstanding move right here, and you can see the penalty right there holding against Shaw. A great outstanding run, breaking tackles, individual effort that was going to come back because of a holding penalty, and Shaw's going to keep possession of the ball, but a little push going to be pushed back. You see the coaching staff of the Tigers trying to make some minor adjustments in the defensive approach of the Tigers.
Coach has his rally cap on already. We'll tell you about the officiating crew from the New Orleans area after this play. First down, 20 yards to go now for Shaw from the Hahnville 38, 7:39 to play first quarter, no score. Parquette, the play fakes to throw to Pack, incomplete at about the 30, threw behind him. Same play they ran earlier successfully, this time double coverage. Kerry Dempster was there on the coverage initially. He had help from Dominique Brown. It will be second down and 20. The officiating crew is from the New Orleans area. Lots of good friends of mine on this crew. Lenny Reese, the referee. Terrell Broussard, the linesman. L.J. Strohmeyer, my old neighbor, the line judge. Walter Eckert, the back judge. Donald Gonaldo, the umpire, and Lloyd Scully is the electric clock operator. They do a very fine job, Renee.
Kenny, I tell you, if you're not here, you're one of the very few people that are not in attendance at Hahnville. It's standing room only. In fact, there must be about 300 or 400 people standing along the fence watching the game that just couldn't find a seat.
Second down, 20 yards to go from the 38-yard line. Again, the split backs behind the quarterback, and now Shaw apparently wants timeout. Ricky Brumfield, the wide receiver, signaled for timeout, so we'll take a timeout as well. 7:32 to play, first quarter from Tiger Stadium. It's Hahnville nothing and Shaw nothing. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
First timeout, huh?
At the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner, 5 cents goes a long way. The Pontchartrain Center has over 35,000 square feet of exhibit space and 6 spacious meeting rooms, all for just 5 cents a square foot. If you're looking for a place to hold your next convention, meeting, seminar, or banquet, Kenner's Pontchartrain Center is New Orleans' newest meeting alternative. All meal functions are catered by Marie's to assure the finest in banquet cuisine. When you're looking for a quality convention or meeting facility with affordable rates, call the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner.
Ken Trahan along with Renee Nato and Lance Jacob from Tiger Stadium. 7:32 to play first quarter with no score. Shaw with the ball at the Hahnville 38-yard line. We look at the Hahnville sideline, and Darren Barbier in his 4th year, Renee, he has compiled one terrific record, hasn't he?
40 wins, 9 losses, quite an impressive record for the competition he faces, but also give credit to Hank Tierney. He recorded his 100th victory as a Shaw Eagle coach last week. Congratulations to Hank and his staff. 100 victories, 23 defeats, and he's got a big one on his hands tonight.
11th year as a head coach, 16th overall at Shaw. Two very fine coaches, two very fine programs being represented here tonight. 3 receivers set here, split backs behind Parquette. In motion is Brumfield, and the give is straight ahead, and the flag is down, and Shaw has about 3 yards, but we'll check the flag. So they spread them out a little bit, Renee, and just ran straight up.
I would tell you something about this guy, Barry Smith. He's one of the very few freshmen who ever have played for the Eagles. And last week against the West Jeff Buccaneers, he had 77 yards and 11 carries with the leading rusher, and he displays that 4.6 speed, great vision, great running ability. He may be one of the all-time greats before he leaves Shaw High School.
And a touchdown as well a week ago. When you talk about a freshman playing on the varsity level, he has to be special, and he is. Let's get the official call here from the referee, Lenny Reese.
Procedure on the offense is refused. Play third down.
So they refused the 5-yard penalty, and with good reason. It's still third down and quite a distance. We'll call it 17 yards to go from the 34-yard line. Maybe a long 16. They need the 18-yard line for a first down. Twin receivers left, a single receiver right. Parquette back in the pocket to throw. Has time. Stops. Now he's in trouble and rolling left. Now he is sacked back at the 40-yard line by Damon Jones, the 6'3", 205-pound senior, and Hahnville has held.
Damon Jones with an outstanding play coming from the blind side. He has great speed, not a big guy, but he loves to hit, and you see him flushing in from the left side. For those Cox Cable that can see this replay, he fights off the block, just put tremendous pressure after fighting off a double team, hit him from the blind side, and a great sack for the Hahnville Tigers, recording his first sack of the 1993 season.
Let's give credit to the Hahnville secondary, which really was responsible for that sack, Renee, because Parquette had plenty of time initially.
He really did, and you can credit Ricky Bruce and Downs, Phillips, and Brown. It's an outstanding cover man.
Robert Wilson, opponent, a bad snap, picks it up, still gets it off. He did a heck of a job. Bounces, and it's fielded at the 9. To the 10, and that's all. Maybe the 11-yard line at most is sturdy Downs, and Sturdy Downs is down in the arms of number 25, Freddie Hambrick, and Hahnville will have tough field position once more. 6:16 to play first quarter. No score. Hahnville and Shaw. And we head down to field level now for this report with Lance Jacob. Lance?
Thanks a lot, Kenny. You're exactly right. There's a college atmosphere here in the crowd. Packed stands on both sides, and they really take their football here seriously. Standing room only. Parking lot was full 2 hours before the game. People out tailgating, faces painted. It's going to be a good one tonight, Kenny.
Well, they're double parked behind me. Of course, I'll be breaking down equipment for a while after this one anyway. On first down, the give is straight ahead. And fighting his way across the 15 to the 16-yard line for Hahnville. It was Kendall Harris, the fullback, number 32, the 6'1", 185-pound sophomore. Harris picks up about 5, so a pretty good surge there by the Hahnville line. It will be second down and 5 yards to go.
He displayed some great leg strength. He's the backup fullback, but he can break some tackles, and he could start anywhere else but Hahnville. He's the backup, but playing a very key role tonight, Kenny.
Harris and Honor in the I formation this time behind the quarterback. Strong side right. White with a snap. Gives to the tailback. Rondell Honor running left. Breaks one tackle but runs into 2 more. At about the 16. Nothing there. A good job for Shaw defensively. Lance Dovar, the 6', 190-pound junior, leading the charge.
And the one thing that concerned Hank Tierney and his staff, his defensive ends must turn everything inside, and Rondell Honor just couldn't quite get outside. Maybe the slick field may have slowed him down just a little bit, but he's very concerned about letting the Hahnville Tiger running backs get outside.
No gain on the play. It will be third down and 5 yards to go. Play coming in from the sideline with Kevin Austin. Hank Tierney, the head coach of Shaw, we've already told you about the superlatives. He also happens to be a very nice person. It's been a pleasure working with Hank now for me. 13 years doing high school games, and Hank's made it very easy for me. Counter option, the quarterback, White keeping. He has about 3 yards, and he's snowed under, fumbles the football. It's loose. Who's got it? The Eagles say they do. We'll wait for an official signal here. And it looks like the Eagles do have the football. The big turnover. Shaw has it at the Hahnville 18-yard line.
And perhaps Mother Nature has played a role in a couple of early game fumbles here with just a little over 4 minutes to go here. Hahnville turns it over. Shaw turned it over a little while ago. And you see Clifton White just couldn't find the handle, and Shaw jumps on top here. A big pileup, massive pileup. You can't catch a number. Let's see. I think we're going to get a number right here. It looked like Hahnville had a shot. Couldn't get a hold of it. It wanted to be in anybody's ball. Waiting to get the number. Perhaps it may have been
Roland Roy.
Roland Roy may have come up with the ball, the 6', 180-pound senior defensive back for Shaw.
Shaw gets their first turnover. We're even at 1 apiece, and it's a big one at the 17-yard line, Hahnville territory. First down. Parkett, the option, pitches to James. Running left. He is outside, and he has about 6 yards before he goes out of bounds. Inside the 15 and down at about the 13-yard line. They ran to the short side of the field, and James made some positive yardage.
And credit Ricky Brumfield. He's a 5'9", 155-pound senior. Number 8 with a great block outside. Enabled Bruce James to get outside. He's not just a track guy. He's a great blocker. 4.75 speed. Great outstanding block for a wide receiver, as most of Shaw's wide receivers has always done, Kenny.
Darren Barbier's done a magnificent job here at Hahnville. He's built a powerhouse that will stay that way for quite some time. Second down and 4. The quick snap to give to James a hole. James is down to about the 6-yard line. He appears to be close to a first down, and in fact may have that first down yardage. It looks as though he does. That ball will be spotted near the 5, and a first down and goal to go for Shaw.
And you see where that big hole came from. Jarvis Redo opened a gaping hole. 6'6", 282-pounder opened a gaping hole in the right guard, which allowed James to go through, dance through for a first down, and the Shaw Eagles are knocking on the door.
Donrell McKenzie, who had a 27-yard interception return for a touchdown against Kennedy and 6 tackles a week ago on the stop. First down, goal to go, the 5-yard line. Parkett the snap. The keeper cuts it in, and he's down at about the 2.5-yard line. He cut it inside and was wrapped up by Kerry Dempster, the safety, the 5'10", 170-pound junior, who kept Parkett out of the end zone.
Great defensive play there, and he just broke down. Dempster just broke down and didn't allow Parkett to cut back. He's a great open field runner. He can cut back against the grain, and Dempster stayed at home, which enabled him to make the tackle and prevent a touchdown. But again, Shaw is at the 2-yard line, and this is where the size really becomes a major factor in the line.
Parkett breaks the huddle, approaching 3:30 and counting to play. First quarter, standing room only. Second down, goal to go for Shaw from the 2. Under center, Parkett, the counter play, James. James is at the goal mouth. He's in. Touchdown, Eagles. Bruce James from 2 yards out, and Shaw takes a 6-0 lead.
Kenny, that was just power running once again, and James finding a hole. He bounced off 2 or 3 potential tacklers. And the replay shows again on Cox Cable here for the ones on radio and not able to see this. Just outstanding running, breaking 2 or 3 tackles here, keeping his feet, going into the end zone, and Bruce James puts the Shaw Eagles on the scoreboard, drawing first blood with just over 3 minutes to go in the initial stanza.
Jason Fortunato, who handles extra points only, is in there to try this one soccer style. Movement on the line, and a flag is down. We'll see how this works. A Hahnville player tried to entice movement from Shaw, and he might have succeeded.
We have encroachment on the defense, half the distance. Played it down over. Half the distance, Donald.
Well, he succeeded, but he didn't succeed in the sense that if he makes contact whatsoever, forget that. It's going to be half the distance. Temptation to go for 2, but it looks like Hank Tierney will just go for the one with Jason Fortunato to kick it out of the hold of Ricky Brumfield. They have Robert Wilson, who handles other place kicking and field goal and punting duties for Shaw. Here's a bad snap over everybody's head. Fortunato trying to run it down. Cannot. The holder does. And he's creamed, and a flag is down back at the 23-yard line. As the Shaw player fell on the ball, he was down, and a Hahnville player jumped on him, and at that point, the flag went down. That's probably going to be unsportsmanlike conduct against Hahnville. And it'll likely be a post-possession call.
On the blue, we'll penalize on the kickoff.
That indeed will be the case. 3:10 to play, first quarter. Our score, Shaw 6 and Hahnville nothing. We'll take time out here. Back in just a moment on the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
The 94s are coming, and the 93s must go. And at the original Bone Ford in New Orleans, we're slashing the prices on all new 93s to make room for the 94s. You can get a new 93 Crown Victoria at $3,500 off, or take the Bronco with $6,800 off, or the exciting Taurus SHO with $6,500 off. And they've got all the extras. Every new car, truck, and van will be drastically reduced, so hurry in for low prices, high trade-ins, and low interest rates. These deals won't last long, so come to the original Bone Ford in New Orleans, your 15-minute confidence dealer.
3:10 to play, first quarter. Shaw breaks on top 6-0 as they capitalized on a turnover, Renee.
That drive, 4 plays, 17 yards following that fumble, taking 1 minute and 31 seconds off the clock. Bruce James capping that drive with a 2-yard run, putting the Shaw Eagles ahead 6-0. And of course, the extra point was not good because of the missed snap over the holder's head. And of course, Shaw will kick off right now with the penalty intact. Dominic Brown was the one that may have roughed the kicker just a little bit following that fumble, and the Southpaw was just a little too over-anxious, Kenny, and I guess he'll give Shaw an opportunity to kick deep, or I should say from the 45-yard line of Hahnville.
Robert Wilson has those duties, and he doesn't have a lot of field to work with. He approaches the football and bangs it down near the goal line. That ball's in play at the 2. Back to the 5, up to about the 10, and maybe the 11-yard line, and that's all goes Chris Haynes. Hahnville will put it in play 1st and 10 from their own 11-yard line with 3:03 to play. First quarter, we head down to field level once more for this report from Lance Jacob.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. Renee, there's not much we haven't seen, and there's only 3 minutes left in the first quarter. But Renee may have picked up on something that may be important throughout this game. The offensive line, the interior line for the Shaw Eagles, looks to be a little too much for Hahnville to handle right now. Back up to you, Kenny.
To this point, that would be an accurate assessment, Lance. I think Renee would concur with that, but things can change. This Hahnville offense certainly has the potency to do that. I formation, a broken eye, actually, behind Clifton White on 1st and 10 from the 12 officially, and the pitch to the tailback. Honor with some running room. Honor outside to about the 17, maybe the 18-yard line. He has about 6 yards, a positive play there before Luis Bustamante, the inside linebacker, is able to bring him down. And I've been waiting to call that name all night. Luis Bustamante, and here he is, Renee.
And Rondell Honor trying to turn a corner, and Bustamante is equal to the challenge. Big stop with a big running back, and Rondell Honor shows some excellent quickness, but the Shaw Eagles really gang tackled, led by Bustamante.
And Chris Palermo helping to finish him off as Honor's a load to handle. 2nd down, 4 yards to go, the 18-yard line. Honor and Harris, the running backs. The pitch goes to Harris. Running left, or rather to Honor. He has running room across the 25 to 30 and out to the 32-yard line as Rondell Honor He has a first down for Hahnville. A 14-yard gain, their best play from scrimmage yet. Good-looking pitch here, Renee.
It really is, and I'll tell you what, if you want to tell you what made this play work, watch number 84, a great block right there, 56, and Terrence Dunmiles throws the key block that allows the running back to get up the field. That's Rondell Honor, a great run, great pickup for the Hahnville Tigers.
Philip Parang is number 56, the 5'11", 205-pound junior guard who led the way. The first down of the game for Hahnville. The give here is to Honor. He has room, 35-40, close to a first down, across the 40 to the 41, but a flag is down at about the 38. We'll check that, but it's obvious Hahnville has made some adjustments on this possession.
They really have, and Rondell Honor is filling some big shoes, and Horace Raymond, who has since departed to Tulane, but they feel that Rondell Honor may be a little bit quicker, and that play may be coming back following a great run by Rondell Honor. Rondell Honor on a great run, individual effort here, but a penalty assessed against the Hahnville Tigers will wipe out a great play, great run.
Well, we saw it right there, a great replay, a clip on the play.
On the offense, we're first down over again.
You could see the player from Hahnville running into the Shaw player in the back, and boy, that's a killer. Hahnville had something going there, but the clipping penalty from the point of the infraction will set them back all the way to the 23-yard line, where it will be first down and about 19 yards to go as a result, with 2:15 and counting here in the first quarter.
Clifton White kind of silent so far, Ken, but I think it's only a matter of time before the 6-foot, 190-pound junior begins to make his presence known with that 4.6 speed.
Trip set, 3 wide receivers to the left side. They throw the little quickie out there to Honor. Gets outside, 25, 30, 34, maybe the 35-yard line. Positive play there, a good-looking play. Nets them about 12 yards. Ricky Wilson, the safety, on the stop.
And Ricky Wilson is in the mold of so many great defensive backs that have come through the Shaw Eagles and made a great stop here. He's only a junior. Last year, he led the team in interceptions. He had an interception last week, and 11 tackles against West Jefferson, a very, very active junior. He started all 12 games for the Shaw Eagles as a sophomore last year.
Returned that interception 30 yards last week against West Jeff at a 34-6 win for Shaw. Second down, 6. Darren Barbier looking on for Hahnville. And the give is straight ahead, and that's Kendall Harris, and the ball's on the ground. A fumble. Who's got it? Eagles say they do. We'll wait as they unstack this pile. Officials trying to dig them out and determine who's got the football. The wrestling match goes on, sumo style. Eagles football. And it looked as though Jones came up with the football. We'll see. It's first down for Shaw, and we'll see the play again. Let's see if we can pick it up, Renee.
Kendall Harris never really had the handle right. He has the ball going through the line, but he doesn't really tuck it away all the way. And, of course, a wet ball may have led to it. A good hit as well. Popped the ball loose, and the Shaw Eagles are knocking at the door. There is an injury on the field right now, which has halted play momentarily.
I think that might be Jason Salino, who was very doubtful to play, who might be down out there. He has a knee injury coming in, and if that's him, it probably would be the same problem. Might have been Maurice Moody on the recovery. No, it's not Salino. It's Luis Bustamante that's down on the field for Shaw. He's being helped off the field. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout here. 1:14 to play first quarter, 6-0 Shaw. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
This fall, the new force in prep football is back on Channel 26. Friday Night Football, hosted by Ed Daniels and one of Louisiana's winningest football coaches, J.T. Curtis.
Last year, got Chalmette.
The only place for New Orleans sports fans to catch the complete wrap-up of prep football action is...
Congratulations to them and their coach.
Friday Night Football, live, Fridays at 10:30 on WGNO.
On first down, a deep pass by Chuck Parquette falls incomplete. They tried to throw the fly pattern there as they tried to get it to Ricky Brumfield. But Hahnville was ready and waiting for that play. Dominique Brown was back defending. If anything, Brown may have had the best shot of the football. The Hahnville dance team looking on. 1:07 to play first quarter. 6-0 our score, and a flag on the play. Motion the call against Shaw. It looks like Hahnville's going to take the penalty. Now, next week, WSMB and Cox Cable will bring you Lawless and Rummel from Mus Bernalino Stadium in Kenner. The Rummel Raiders and the Lawless Pythians will do battle next week on the WSMB Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week in Renee's and my hometown, Kenner, Louisiana.
Kenny, a surprise here. So many penalties early going here against two very solid teams. Perhaps Butterflies have played a role in that.
Parkett with split backs. The sprint draw. He gives it to James. There's room. 40, 35. Look at the speed. 30, 25, 20. Out of bounds. Bruce James, a first down at about the 20-yard line. A 21-yard pickup. And Renee, once he saw daylight, you could see the kind of speed that he has. He just separated himself from the remaining players.
And Bruce James, with not a lot of size, but a lot of guts and a lot of good vision, he cuts it outside, looks for the open area, and as you said, displayed that 4.5 speed, hits the corner just right on a wet field, and really running outstanding. Shows why he's put some outstanding numbers up his first 2 years at Shaw.
Kerry Dempster making sure he stayed out of bounds. 58 seconds to play, first quarter, 1st and 10. Shaw from the 20, leading 6-0. And the keeper by Parkett. And he is swarmed under at about the 22-yard line for a loss of 2 by the right defensive end, Elgin Pierre, who mans that side of the defense along with his brother, Ian.
Yes, and Ian is the youngest on the team. He played as a freshman last year, but Elgin Pierre runs a 4.5 40 as a defensive end. He runs a 10.9 100 meters. Don't think he's just one of these big linemen. He can really put on a speed, and you're not going to run outside Elgin Pierre very often, Kenny.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12 to 22. Winding down in the first quarter, 25 seconds to play. Split backs lined up only 2 yards behind the quarterback. Chuck Parkett, who takes the snap and wants to throw. In the pocket, steps up, throws over the middle, and almost picked off. Overthrew his intended receiver, Bruce James, and that ball was almost picked off by number 26 for the Hahnville Tigers, and that's Stanley Phillips.
And you see he's looking for a receiver right now. Not a lot of room right here, and Stanley Phillips almost picked it off. Parkett looking for a receiver, really kind of forced this ball right here. Touched by at least one player, almost intercepted by McKenzie. And of course, as you said, Phillips almost picked it off to go the other way, but it's nothing but an incomplete pass, stopping the clock with 14 ticks to go in the first quarter.
3 purple shirts were there, including Phillips and McKenzie. 2nd down, make it 3rd down, 3rd and 12, the 22-yard line. High formation again, rather the split back formation behind Parkett, who runs the option. Quick pitch to James running right. He's running out of real estate. He's going to the ground for a loss. Back at the 27-yard line, and Sturdy Downs was sturdy on that play, which will be the final play of the first quarter.
Damon Jones made Parkett really pitch this ball, gave him a good shot. Make that Corey Simmons. Bruce James really didn't have a lot of room right here, and Sturdy Downs playing it outstanding, an expert defensive play, and stopping the ball. The first quarter's over with.
At the end of 1 quarter, our score, Archbishop Shaw 6 and Hahnville 0. Back with the second quarter of action next. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
The best ribs in town.
And the best prep highlight show in town.
Stonebreakers Restaurant and WGNO TV connect on Friday Night Football.
Each Friday night, watch the award-winning Friday Night Football at 10:30 on our big screen. If you're hustling back from the game, don't worry about missing a thing. We'll replay the show from 11 to midnight, serving a special Friday Night Football menu.
That's Friday Night Football
at Stonebreakers Restaurant.
The place to be after the game.
Trahan along with Renee Nato, Lance Jacobs, second quarter about to begin. A lot of excited folks here and some pretty faces as well. 6-0 Shaw leading as we head to the second quarter. The Cox Cable WSMB Prep Football Game of the Week is brought to you in part by Kenner on the Move and Bone Ford in New Orleans, your 15-minute confidence dealership. 4th down, 15 yards to go. Shaw going for it for the 27. Parkett faking, wanting to throw, throws backwards. Another pass could be made and is wide open to the end zone, a touchdown. The double pass, and it works beautifully. Juma Elo on the throw, D'Artagnan Miller on the reception, 27 yards, and the Eagles lead it by the score of 12-0. A trick play, Renee, and it worked to perfection.
Well, let me tell you why maybe that wasn't a trick play. Juma Elo is the backup quarterback, and he'll throw that halfback pass, so you're not really surprised too much to see Shaw pull out all tricks on this play, but I tell you what an outstanding play, and it really, really worked. Juma Elo is the backup quarterback. He waited for the lateral, the backwards pass from the quarterback Parkett, and are looking for a wide open receiver. Good for 6 points for the Shaw Eagles. And I tell you what, it caught the Hahnville Tigers defense by complete surprise.
He looked like a quarterback. He stepped up under pressure in the pocket, if you will. Shaw will go for 2, having missed the first extra point. Twin receivers left, split backs behind Parkett. And movement on the Shaw offensive line, and that might change the plan. Right side of the line, and Menard moving.
Illegal procedure, false start. On the offense, we played it down over.
5 yards against Shaw. Let's see if Hank Tierney elects to go for 2. This time it would be from the 8-yard line instead. Makes it a bit tougher. It appears he's still going to go for 2 with a 12-0 lead, 11:49 to play. Just underway, second quarter. Shaw scores on the first play of the second quarter. They're going to go for 2 once more. The play in from the sideline. They run in their plays with the split ends, D'Artagnan Miller and Mike Lohr. Hahnville does the same with its split ends. So the similarities in these coaches are obvious. Again, twin receivers left, split back, same formation, probably the same play. The fake counter, Parkett rolls right, stops, looks, throws to the end zone. Pack has it, 2-point conversion, 14-0 Shaw. Parkett to Jamal Pack, and the Eagles have a 14-0 lead. Timeout on the field with 11:49 to play. First half, it's Shaw 14 and Hahnville nothing. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
At the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner, 5 cents goes a long way. The Pontchartrain Center has over 35,000 square feet of exhibit space and 6 spacious meeting rooms, all for just 5 cents a square foot. If you're looking for a place to hold your next convention, meeting, seminar, or banquet, Kenner's Pontchartrain Center is New Orleans' newest meeting alternative. All meal functions are catered by Marie's to assure the finest in banquet cuisine. When you're looking for a quality convention or meeting facility with affordable rates, call the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner.
Ken Trahan, Renee Nato, Lance Jacob from Tiger Stadium, Hahnville. 11:49 to play second quarter. Shaw has a 14-0 lead.
And that last drive, 5 plays, 37 yards, 1 minute and 25 seconds off the clock, culminated by Juma Elo with a 27-yard halfback pass to D'Artagnan Miller. The Shaw Eagles elected to go for 2. Parquet to an 8-yard pass to the tight end Pack. 14-0 Eagles.
Sturdy Downs fields the kickoff from Wilson. Downs waits for his blocking, gets it out to about the 29-yard line in Tiger territory. That's where Hahnville will put it in play, needing to mount a drive here, trailing 14-0. And we head now to field level to check in once more with Lance Jacob. Lance?
Thanks a lot, Kenny. We've talked a lot of time here early on about the pupil versus the teacher. Well, I'm not sure Coach Hank Tierney showed Darian Barbier that play in the playbook when he was back at Shaw. What a play to D'Artagnan Miller in the end zone. Hahnville didn't expect it. Back up to you.
All right, thank you very much, Lance Jacob. First down 10, Hahnville, their own 28 officially. White with the pitch to Honor, running right across the 30 to 35 and out to the 38-yard line. Honor is near his first down at about the 38. Just a power pitch there, Renee. They got some people out in front and did some damage.
And Rondell Honor, 6'1", 195 with expert, really great speed, great quickness, turning the corner and got some outstanding running. Again, he's just power running right here. It's a little flip outside, and he turns the right corner, breaks 1 tackle, gets up the field, drags another 2 tacklers with him for another couple of yards, but great gain, and there's going to be a measurement right here for a potential first down for the Hahnville Tigers.
Lance Stobart finally setting him down for the Shaw Eagles, and the measurement will tell us that. Boy, is that close or is that close? It's a first down. Our TV viewers, for those listening on radio, would note that he got that first down by the tip of the football at best. But he's got it, 10 yards and a first down, and Hahnville had a little something going on their last possession, Renee, prior to the turnover.
Yes, they did, and they're going to have to hold on to the ball, control the ball, and keep the Shaw offense off the field. That's really what Darren Barbier and his offensive coaches have in mind.
The Hahnville offense only played a half last week in an easy win over Kennedy, 49-22. Here's the pitch. And running room for Honor, running left. Honor's out to about the 45-yard line. A good tackle in the open field by Ecom Grigsby, the safety, a very fine player, a returning starter at 5'11", 175. Grigsby stopped him cold. Otherwise, it's a big gain. Still a good play for Hahnville.
Yes, this pitch allows him, when he just pitches straight back, allows him to go wherever the hole or wherever the crease is, and he would have probably had more yards had his feet not gone from underneath him. The field is still a little slippery. A good game, about 5 or 6 yards. Could have gone for more had the field been dry.
Took on a lot of rain, but this field is an outstanding field. It is great turf, and it drains very well. I formation on second down, a short 5. And the give is to the up back, Corey Simmons, and Simmons lost the football. He lost the football at about the 45-yard line. Shaw thinks they have it once more. Hahnville says they have it. And once again, the sumo match will go on. And Hahnville kept the football, so Hahnville did recover their own fumble, and they are now releasing that gasp that they had there momentarily.
You have a stunned crowd here in purple and gold in Hahnville at Tiger Stadium. Corey Simmons is a linebacker, and he switches over to fullback for this series, and he was a fullback in 1992. Just did not get the exchange from Clifton White, and you can expect Clifton White, I think, real soon to air it out. He's got the arm strength to perhaps put the ball anywhere from 50 to 60 yards via the air, Kenny.
Simmons playing both ways, still in at fullback. Honor the tailback, 3rd down and 3 yards to go from the 42. The play fake by White, rolling, stopping, throwback, screen wide open. Honor, 45, cuts back at the 50. He's at the 45. He breaks a tackle at the 40. He's down to the Shaw 35-yard line. First down for Hahnville on a very fine throwback screen from White to Honor. Deacon Grigsby on the stop.
Reviewing the play, you really have to look at how many tackles that Rondell Honor broke, taking a little screen pass across the field from Clifton White. I'd say probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 Shaw Eagles had shots at him. 3, 4, 5 right there. The last one was the 5th or 6th tackle, and he was gang tackled at the 35-yard line.
23-yard gain, their best offensive play of the game. On first down, they give us to Honor running right with room. 35-30, runs over a tackler. He's inside the 25. Listen to the roar of the crowd as he goes to the 23 and has a first down.
And there's going to be a penalty attack to that. Looked like Dominic Brown, the sophomore, was just a little over anxious. And yes, Rondell Honor just ran over Grigsby. And I'll tell you what, Grigsby thinks school's out. He's hearing bells right now.
That could be the impetus that Hahnville needed to get going.
Dead ball.
It is going to be a dead ball personal foul, and that will tack on the yardage. Let's listen.
Personal foul on the defense.
So that will tack on the yardage from the 24. It'll be half the distance to the goal, probably down to about the 12 where they mark the football. As Hank Tierney and his staff now look on in concerned fashion. They knew this wasn't going to be easy.
No, it's not, and both coaches wanted to keep this a low-scoring game. I asked both coaches if they thought if the score would be in the 30s, if it would be an advantage. Both coaches said no, but Kenny, I think before this is over, you're going to see a shooting match. I think it's going to take 30 to 35 points to win this game tonight.
It will be the 12-yard line on the half the distance to the goal penalty for the late hit. First down and 10 yards to go. They can make a first down just inside the 2. Receivers to either side. Simmons the up back. Honor is the I back. The quarterback is Clifton White. Barking signal. Shaw showing blitz here. White taking a long time. Finally takes the snap. Rolls right. He's going to keep. He's in the backfield. Shakes one tackle and is smothered back at the 14-yard line. An apparent loss of 2 yards and all kinds of Eagles there. Errol Farness was one Eagle that was there. Chris Palermo was another, and there were more.
Yes, and the floodgates just opened up defensively, and Clifton White had nowhere to go. He almost lost control of the ball. He was trying to run around. The wet ball almost caused a fumble right here, but he held on to it. But again, Shaw Eagles were equal to the challenge and just converged on Clifton White, stopping any kind of large gain.
Farness, a big guy, 6'3", 250, a senior from his defensive tackle spot. 8-18 and counting second quarter, 14-0 Shaw. Hahnville threatening second and 13. Officially at the Shaw 14-yard line. High formation once more behind White with the snap. Quick throw out in the flat. Smothered for a loss on the play is Terrence Dunmiles. Waiting for him on the play was Chris Palermo, the cornerback at 5'9", 155. The senior sniffed that one out. Roland Roy there as well.
And once again, you see that great defensive play by the cornerback, Roland Roy. I said Dominic Brown. That's the cornerback before from Hahnville. Roland Roy, a great play coming up from his cornerback position. He just really smelled that play out and just very alert. Good defensive play.
Credit to Roland Roy for making that stop, and a big stop indeed. A loss of 1, 3rd and 14 at the 15. The snap, White rolling the throw, stopping, looking, stepping up, shaking a tackle. He's at the 15 to 10. He's at the 5. He breaks a tackle. He's down close to a first down and about the 1-yard line, and that's where he needed to get. It's going to be close. What an effort by Clifton White.
Clifton White was just flung up into the air, and he came down like a cat. He came down on his feet. How he did, we'll never know, but a great individual effort by the 6', 190-pound junior, and he was trapped back there. He ran out of the pocket a la Fran Tarkenton and scrambled down near the first down marker. And yes, Kenny, it's close enough where he may have gotten it. If he doesn't get it, he's got it close to a sniffle. He's going to be real close to that yard line marker.
Well, the chains are being brought out, and we'll get a shot of the end zone with all the fans standing behind the fence. Standing room only here at Tiger Stadium. Here's the measurement, and he's just short, and it looks to be no more than a big foot, like about your shoe size, Renee.
Like I said, he may have missed it by a sniffle, but you can bet the Hahnville Tigers, this will be one big play, perhaps the biggest play of the game thus far. And yes, there's probably 1,000 people in the stands, all cheering for the Tigers.
4th down, about a foot to go. Hahnville will go for it inside the Shaw 2-yard line. Simmons, the up back, Honor, the tailback. Will he sneak it? He will. He takes the snap. Did he get enough? Not much impetus there. He didn't get much drive. It all depends on the mark. We'll see where they mark the football. This is going to be awfully close. A quick snap to White. It didn't look like the offensive line quite got off on time there. And as a result, not much of a push for White, who's a pretty good-sized athlete at 6'2", 190. If his body lean got it, that's the reason he got it. That would be the only reason, Renee, because there wasn't much there.
Very, very close. And if yes, only the center and quarterback moved on that snap. No, not really much push from the offensive line, and it'll depend on the mark of the referee.
Everyone is dead silent here. Listen to this. And he did not get it. He is short by a foot. Shaw takes over on downs at their own 1-yard line. What a defensive stand by the Eagles, and what a heartbreaker for the Tigers.
This will test the mettle of the Hahnville Tiger defense right now, because it's tough to hold Shaw down here right now. And if they can hold the Tigers, there's still a lot of time left here in the second stanza. 6 minutes, 45 seconds to go, Ken. They can get the ball back and maybe make some noise and redeem themselves from the last series.
So the Shaw defense gets it done. And Shaw takes over from its own 1. They'll look for some operating room, and they've got to take care of the ball here. Chuck Parquette takes him up to the line of scrimmage. He has Elo and James behind him, the split backs, the snap and the give to James. He has a hole, breaks a tackle at the 5. Another tackle at 10. He spins away to the 15 to 20. He's up to about the 24-yard line. What a run by Bruce James, who picks up about 24 yards and has a Shaw first down.
Just spinning and running and keeping your feet, great balance, great outstanding balance. He looked like a Thurman Thomas on that play, just taking off a right guard, but punching it outside, bouncing outside, looking for greener pastures. Bruce James putting on a little juke move on the cornerback and really breaking. He put a real good move on Kerry Dumpster, left him grasping for thin air, and of course Bruce James showing that great ability with that 4.6 speed. First down, and now he has a little better shape for the Shaw Eagle offense.
Stanley Phillips finally cowered him. First down and 10. They mark it at the 23-yard line, and another big hole. James again to the 30, to the 35, to 36, and another first down for Shaw, as that big offensive line starts to make their presence felt.
And we mentioned Jarvis Rito and Jeremy Bay, those big guards, both 6'6". Bay is 272, and Rito is 282, and they're really a handful for Vernon Rubisky and Ian Pierre. And Vernon Rubisky, if that name sounds familiar, he's a nephew of Terry Rubisky, former LSU Tiger.
Chris Salzman, the center, a 5th-year player who does an outstanding job. He's the rock up there, number 50. First down, 10 yards to go, the 36. The option play right, and a late pitch, and out of bounds goes the pitch at about the 37-yard line, maybe the 38. Parquette trying to make a last-second pitch to James, a little errant, but it went out of bounds, and it will be a pickup of 2 yards. The ball spotted where the football went out of bounds, Renee.
Yes, and that will count as a fumble, but it actually was a pitch, as you said. And with that 44 defense right now, Hahnville's having a trouble. Bruce James already with 95 yards on 9 carries and 1 touchdown. An outstanding night, and we really not even finished the first half as yet.
Certainly a prime candidate for our AAA Trophies Player of the Game, which will be presented at the conclusion of this one. Second down, we'll call it 8 from the 38-yard line. James may be changing the play here as he shouts instructions to his wide receivers, takes the snap. A late read and a late give, and straight ahead to about the 40-yard line. It looked like Elo for a pickup of 2 yards. That was a late read there, Renee. They waited to the last possible second to stick the ball in the belly of Bruce James, it was, who picks up 2 on the play.
Perhaps they gave Chuck Parquette the opportunity to change, and we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast that he is a 3.6 GPA student in honors classes, so he will maybe perhaps recognize some things because of his great intelligence as a quarterback.
Twin receivers, left split backs, left side, the wide side, and a sprint draw, and some running room, and a first down and more. Look out, James. 45-40, 35-30, and down to about the 25-yard line. Sprints Bruce James well over 100 yards. Another big play. He gets into the Hahnville secondary once more. and gives Shaw another scoring opportunity.
Bruce James is talking to the trainers. He needs a blow right here, but yes, a sprint Shaw gift to Bruce James, and he does a lot of individual running. The linemen are pushing the defensive players to the left. He runs to the right and just simply outruns the defense for an outstanding run. Knocked out of bounds by Dominic Brown, saves a touchdown, but once again, the Shaw Eagles knocking on the door deep in Hahnville territory.
Great kick out block by Juma Elo initially. His fellow running back Brown had a 37-yard interception return for a touchdown against Kennedy for Hahnville last week and had 8 tackles. He's a very fine player. 1st and 10 now for Shaw. Ball spotted at the 27-yard line, and they give it straight ahead to the up back to the 25, maybe the 24-yard line on the play. That will be a pickup of 3 yards, and it will be 2nd down and 7 yards to go. As a result, the give was to Barry Smith, the freshman. And we head down to field level once more for this report from Lance Jacob.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. Right now, the Hahnville offense is very dejected. They expected to get some points out of that last drive. And right now, they got to get things turned around, but it's not in their hands right now. It's in the Hahnville defense hands. Back up to you, Kenny.
Boy, a picture tells a story, doesn't it, Renee?
Really does, and it's really a lot of football to be played yet, but yes, that was a very important drive, as Lance just pointed out, and the Hahnville Tigers must put the stops on right now.
Counter option left. Parquet with room to the 20 to the 15. Gets a block. He's down at about the 10-yard line. He's inside the 10 and has a 1st down and goal to go for Shaw. As they run the reverse option, the counter option, if you will, and he picks up about 18 yards, and he showed his speed here.
And as we said, Parquet is a lot quicker than most of the quarterbacks that have come down the road in Shaw. Outstanding speed, just individual effort. And you see the great block downfield by D'Artagnan Miller. Allows Parquet to get outside. He's thrown rudely out of bounds, but again, 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line. And again, a lot of time to go, and Shaw is right close, sniffing to the goal.
Coaches love to see those wide receivers blocking downfield, don't they? Wide receivers left, 2 of them on 1st down. Goal to go, Smith and James, the running backs. Again, Parquet shouting signals at the 7-yard line officially. And the give is straight ahead. Down to about the 4-yard line goes Bruce James. He toughs out about 3 yards on the play. Elgin Pierre was there. Vernon Robisky was there. Ian Pierce was there. A gain of about 3. It will be 2nd down, goal to go for the Eagles. Ball inside the 5.
And they're going to run behind the meet, the Bays and the Salzman and redo really the biggest interior line right there. And, you know, Chris Salzman, he's a solid center, 6 feet, 215 pounds, and he's been on a varsity since a freshman. So, once again, Bruce James with 133 yards thus far in the 1st half.
And he gets the ball again, and he's going down at the line of scrimmage. He's thrown back on a very fine defensive play by Ian Pierre and by Donrell McKenzie as they teamed up to chunk him back, if you will. Good defensive stop there on James. Timeout. An injury on the play to a Shaw player on the far side of the field, and we'll see if we can spot who that is. Could be Jamal Pack, their big tight end. Whoever it is, they're tending to him right now. Looks like he might have the wind knocked out of him. So we have an injury on the field, so we'll take a timeout as well. With 3 minutes, 37 seconds to play 1st half, our score is Shaw 14 and Hahnville nothing. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
Experience the distinct flavor of Mr. Roma's gourmet pizza and Italian cuisine. In addition to Mr. Roma's famous spinach pizza, you'll find the delicious combination pizza. Taste the artichoke lasagna, Sicilian stuffed shells, Caesar salad with homemade dressing, and a variety of sandwiches. Dine in, take out, or call for free delivery. For the best in gourmet pizza and Italian cuisine, Mr. Roma on Clearview and Metairie. And now try our new locations on 3rd Street in Kenner and on River Road in Destrehan.
And, of course, the time is out right now because of the injury. And then following the injury, Renee, a timeout was called on the field by Shaw, I do believe, with 3:37 to play in the half. And it's 14-0. Eagles on top, and conferences continuing on each sideline. Of course, last year was a dream season for Hahnville, Renee. A perfect year, 15-0, 10 shutouts, district and state champions in Class 4A, stepping up to 5A this year. They played in the highest classification for many years, and now they're back in the district that they're very familiar with.
Yeah, and week in and week out, they'll be facing 5A competition, but it's all about football, Ken, and I think that Hahnville has the opportunity to come back and make this game an outstanding game 14-0 down, 14-0 right now. But I think if you make some subtle changes, and also I think ability and effort is going to play a big part in the second half of this game. Hahnville does have the horses to come back. You've seen some great runs by Rondell Honor. Clifton White, his record speaks for itself. And when you win as many games as they have, pride means an awful lot to this group, and they has no quit in the Hahnville Tigers. They'll be back.
They're in District 5-5A with Assumption, Central Lafourche, Destrehan, South Lafourche, and Thibodaux. Here's the Class 5A statewide rankings. Karen Crow, the defending state champs, #1 with Shaw 2. Ouachita, John Ehret, you saw last week. West Monroe, Southwood, Catholic, Ruston, St. Aug, we'll see, and Barb. Fine football teams. Third down, goal to 5. The play fake by Parquette, rolling right. He has room. Trying to get to the corner, and he does. Touchdown, Chuck Parquette. And Shaw leads it by the score of 20-0.
Just too much speed to the corner, and Parquette just pinned his ears back and just headed for the cone. Got there in time, and with just over 3 minutes to go, you see him with just a fake for those on TV watching with the advantage of television and Cox Cable. Parquette with just a little fake just to keep the linebackers honest. Turned around, headed for the corner on the right end zone, and made it right before a diving effort by Hahnville's Sturdy Downs, and now the Shaw Eagles take a 20-0 lead.
Parquette with a touchdown run, doesn't have the E on the end of his name. Fortunato has his extra point blocked. Extra point blocked. So Shaw's had problems in that regard. That's been about it thus far, however, though. They've played well. Time out on the field. 3:27 to play first half. Eagles 20 and the Tigers nothing. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
94s are coming, and the 93s must go. And at the original Bone Ford in New Orleans, we're slashing the prices on all new 93s to make room for the 94s. You can get a new 93 Crown Victoria at $3,500 off, or take the Bronco with $6,800 off, or the exciting Taurus SHO with $6,500 off. And they've got all the extras. Every new car, truck, and van will be drastically reduced, so hurry in for low prices, high trade-ins, and low interest rates. These deals won't last long, so come to the original Bone Ford in New Orleans, your 15-minute confidence dealer.
Ken Trahan, Renee Nato, Lance Jacob from Tiger Stadium, Hahnville. 3:27 to play first half. Our score, Shaw 20-0 over the Tigers. Wilson to kick it off. Haynes and Sturdy Downs are deep. The kick sails toward the left side, fielded by a short man at the 18-yard line to the 20. And to about the 22-yard line, and that's all for Hahnville. Goes number 26, Stanley Phillips, and he was wrapped up there on a big tackle by number 40, Stephen Mark. And it will be first down and 10 yards to go for Hahnville. And Renee, the Tigers really need to distinguish themselves here.
Yes, following that last drive, 10 plays, 99 yards following that great goal line stand by the Shaw Eagle defense, taking 3 minutes and 18 seconds off the clock. Chuck Parquet capitalized on a 5-yard scamper around the right side, and Shaw takes a commanding 20-0 lead over Hahnville.
3 receivers to the left side, including Kendall Harris. Honor the only setback behind White in this set. On first down, the pitch goes to Harris, rather to Honor, and Honor breaks a tackle and another and shakes another and is across the 30. What a run. He broke about 5 tackles and gets it out to about the 35-yard line. Rondell Honor, 6'1", 195, a senior, a top college prospect who in one half last week rushed for 81 yards and a touchdown in the win over Kennedy. He's a load.
Yes, and we said he was an all-state tight end last year, so he does have that leg strength and a great running ability. You know, the Tulane, LSU, Florida, San Diego State, and Nebraska are already hot on the trail of number 30, Rondell Honor, the big senior for Hahnville. He's got a great future for someone next year.
Good run there, out to the 35, first down yardage. First and 10, 2:48 and counting first half. And the quick snap, the quick throw on the flat is caught. At the 43 to the 45-yard line is Chris Haynes. He appears to have another first down for Hahnville. Chris Haynes, another fine college prospect and returning starter from last year, 5'10", 170, a senior, brought down by a good safety in Ricky Wilson.
And Chris Haynes is not only the go-to guy, he's got great speed, as we said, Ken, 4.5 speed in the 40. He was an all-district in football, all-district in track in the 400 meters, and he, too, like Rondell Honor, has quite a few colleges hot on his trail.
Haynes to the right side, rather to the left, twin receivers right. The pass in the flat is incomplete. Tried to quickly get it to Rondell Honor and see if he could get something going as we watch via television. Quinn Guidry warming up on the sideline. You don't need to be much across midfield to give him a chance to kick a field goal. This guy's terrific.
He's got leg strength, perhaps, Ken, anywhere from 50 yards on in. And don't overlook Quinn Guidry, quite an athlete. He was an all-state baseball player for the Hahnville Tigers last year.
Second down, 10 yards to go. The 46 for Hahnville. Their own 46 with 2:16 to play in the half. Trip set, 3 receivers wide to the right side. On this offensive set, Austin on the outside. Moves straight back in the pocket to throw. In the flat is overthrown, intended for Kevin Austin by Clifton White. Got a little pressure from Errol Farness, but that pass was a bit tall, and it will be 3rd and 10.
Kevin Austin with great hands, but as you said, just a little too tall, and I think Clifton White just let the pressure get to him and forced that ball. Didn't follow through and perhaps made the ball sail a little bit high, but he followed through. He had a wide open Kevin Austin. Now it stops the clock with 3rd down and 10 yards to go for the Tigers. Big down coming here.
Austin had a 17-yard touchdown catch from White against Kennedy a week ago. Again, they built up a big lead in the first half, called off their starters in that game. Darren Barbier shouting instructions to his team from the sideline. Wide to the right side comes Haynes. High formation, back in the pocket to throw as White has time. Throws over the middle. Haynes has it. The 40 and down to the 35-yard line in Shaw territory. 21 yards and a big first down for the Tigers and a good throw by White.
Yes, a great throw by White, and he beat Roland Roy, a great cornerback, who's one of the biggest hitters, best hitters on the Shaw defense, but he just beat him. Haynes beat him with that crossing speed, and a big completion, big first down for the Hahnville Tigers, and once again, this is an important series with clock ticking down here in the first half.
1:50 and counting, so the clock becomes a factor. 3 receivers to the right, a single receiver left in this formation, and a quick throw to Honor, drops the ball in the flat. Players scrambling for the football, and Shaw has the football. They call it a fumble, and Shaw has it, and that was close. And we might need the benefit of a replay to tell. That was the same little hitch they've been throwing in the flat, or trying to throw. And the officials ruled out a backwards throw. Well, from this angle, hard to tell, Renee.
It is going to be hard to tell, and of course we do have the advantage, but as the crowd has voiced its opinion, there is no replay, and the Shaw Eagles will have possession of the ball, and you're going to have some very hostile fans very soon if a call like that has continued to be left.
Ball recovered by the Eagles. Another Hahnville turnover ruled at the 39-yard line, 1:37 and a half. And the sprint draw, it's worked all night. James this time is belted. Picked up about 2 and took a big hit. Robisky is there, and so is Donrell McKenzie, the linebacker, to introduce themselves. Second down now and about 8 yards to go. Hurry up offense for Shaw. Clock running, 1:18 to play in the first half. 20-0 Eagles. They'll set the football now and will play. Parquette takes the snap. Rolling to the left side of the field, stops and throws across the grain, has his man in Hahnville territory to the 45-yard line with a first down is D'Artagnan Miller, who had the touchdown catch earlier. And a good throw by Chuck Parquette.
Hurry up offense right here, and yes, this is a crossing pattern, and Parquette with a lot of time with an offense doing an outstanding job for him and hitting his receiver across the middle, D'Artagnan Miller, and once again, they're moving down the field.
Back to live action, rolling right, Parquette throws in the flat, has his man, but he's out of bounds, incomplete ruled. Miller again, but he was out of bounds, covered by Sturdy Downs. That will stop the clock. A flag is down on the play. 49 seconds to play in the half. We'll check the flag.
Motion on the offense. All right, give me.
So it's going to work against Shaw, and the Tigers are certain to take this, a 5-yarder. Set Shaw back a little bit more with 49 seconds to play in the half. The option being discussed with Damon Jones, the big defensive end and captain for the Tigers. What a defense they had a year ago. They really have to go some to match that team of a year ago, Renee.
They really do, and they got some great athletes with Damon Jones, Robisky, Pierre, and Pierre. And of course, you know, Elgin Pierre, number 86, fills that role that Chris Green did for the Hahnville Tigers. He's now playing for the LSU Tigers this year.
Terrific player was Green. First down and 15. Parquette in the pocket, wants to throw a middle screen. A ball is tipped and intercepted by Hahnville. To the 40, breaking a tackle, 45-50. 45-40, and down to about the Shaw 36-yard line where the interception is Cortrell Davis, the 6', 180-pound junior. Hahnville has a chance at the Shaw 35.
Kenny, what excitement in a play like that. Really picked at the Hahnville Tiger team, and now there's a unsportsmanlike conduct call against the Shaw Eagles, and what Jamal Pack, number 81, is livid at midfield, and the Shaw Eagle coaches are out to escort him to the sidelines, and that's not going to help the cause right now because you have a very hostile crowd right now backing and supporting the Hahnville Tigers. 37 seconds left. Anything could happen, Ken.
If it's on Shaw, it's really going to help Hahnville. We'll see the interception again. This ball was tipped twice before the interception was made.
Parquet back, and throwing was tipped at the line of scrimmage. We're not sure who hit it, but 4 or 5 Hahnville Tigers had an opportunity, and as we saw, the Hahnville Tigers returning it just now.
15 yards.
That was Cortrell Davis. Great run for his linebacker position, and once again, the penalty will be assessed against the Shaw Eagles at the 20-yard line, and this helps the cause. 37 seconds to go for Hahnville.
Well, Jamal Pack really wanted a piece of number 14, Kerry Dempster. They obviously had something going on during that play, and Pack really lost his cool, unfortunately. He's a terrific player, and he's already made an impact, a 2-point conversion in this game. We'll see him again, but the coaching staff will try to calm him down after that outburst. A real chance for the Tigers. 1st and 10 of the 20. Darren Barbier looking on. Shotgun formation. White with a snap. Wants to throw. Has time. Throws sideline, and it's incomplete. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Haynes. And a good defensive play. It looked like Chris Palermo on the play. Fine defensive play back there. It was Roland Roy, number 20, the cornerback, the 6'1", 180-pound senior. That ball was in there, and then Roy knocked it out pretty much of the hands of Chris Haynes.
Well, that stopped the clock. It only took 4 ticks off the clock, 33 seconds to go right now, but this will be a pressure situation for the Hahnville Tigers, and once again, show what kind of metal the offense is made of.
Wide to the left goes Dunmiles. Wide to the right is Haynes. Shotgun formation, 2nd and 10, the 20. White running the quarterback draw, cuts inside, breaks a tackle, and has his first down, it appears, at the 10 with 25 seconds to play. That will stop the clock for Hahnville. Outstanding effort by Clifton White. The Tigers are going to take a timeout to ensure that clock stops with 24 seconds left. May or may not have a measurement. We'll have to see where they spot the football. It's going to be right around the 10-yard line. That's where they needed to get. We've seen a few measurements in this game already. We may see another here. With 24 seconds to play, it is going to be a first down. No measurement. First down for Hahnville. Now the Tigers signal for a timeout on the play, so you'd have to subtract 1 there, and that will affect things with 24 seconds left.
Kenny, what do you do with Hahnville needing a little impetus right now? Do you go for it if it's the waning moments of this half? Do you go for a touchdown, or do you let Quinn Guidry come in and kick a field goal to put some points on the board?
Well, they've got to go for 6 here with 24 seconds left. They know they have the luxury of Guidry, but they're going to go for the TD here if they can possibly negotiate it. They're going into the end zone where fans are standing behind the fence watching this football game. We have the benefit of looking at the huddle here via Cox Cable. Clifton White telling his teammates what he wants here on 1st and 10. Make it 1st and goal. That ball is marked just inside the 10. So it's 1st and goal. They cannot get a first down. A 3-wide receiver set to the left side. Harris the only setback. White with a snap. Dropping. Throwing. Has a man. And a touchdown. Chris Haynes. Hahnville on the board. It's 20-6 with 17 seconds left. And Renee, they lined up 3 to the left side and put it there, man, on the right.
Yes, they did. And once again, Chris Haynes beating a Roland Roy cornerback, and he's got his hands full with Chris Haynes, the big 4'5" speedster. And Clifton White put the ball, which would be a difficult place for a defender to knock the ball away. And credit a great rush to Shaw, but a great pass from Clifton White to Chris Haynes.
Perfect execution. Haynes finished the job. Guidry on to try the extra point. Big touchdown for Hahnville with 17 seconds to play in the half. And the penalty definitely helped. Guidry to try it out of the hole of Dempster. Good end zone view for TV, and that's perfect. Guidry knocks it through. Time out of the field. 17 seconds to play in the first half with our score. Shaw 20 and Hahnville 7. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
At the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner, 5 cents goes a long way. The Pontchartrain Center has over 35,000 square feet of exhibit space and 6 spacious meeting rooms, all for just 5 cents a square foot. If you're looking for a place to hold your next convention, meeting, seminar, or banquet, Kenner's Pontchartrain Center is New Orleans' newest meeting alternative. All meal functions are catered by Marie's to assure the finest in banquet cuisine. When you're looking for a quality convention or meeting facility with affordable rates, call the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner.
17 seconds to play in the first half. Hahnville back in the ball game. It's 20-7.
Yes, 3 plays aided by that penalty against Shaw. 3 plays, 20 yards, 20 seconds off the clock. Clifton White culminating that drive with a 10-yard toss to Chris Haynes. Chris Haynes with a touchdown pass, the first score for the Hahnville Tigers. And now they come closer, 20-7, but the Shaw Eagles still lead with just a few ticks left in the first half.
Now, Renee, most teams would just squib kick this and prevent the return, but when you got Quinn Guidry, you don't have to do that, do you?
Not too many of his kicks are returned, Ken.
His last 9 have not been returned now. All 8 last week, 1 tonight, and he does squib it. Hits it on the ground nonetheless. And it's fielded back of the 8 by James to the 10, the 15, the 20 running right. Has some room. 25-30, 35-40, and out of bounds at about the Shaw 44-yard line is Bruce James with 8 seconds left. And he's accounted for about 170 yards in this game on his own.
A little surprising why they would challenge Bruce James. Squib kick when you got a guy like Quinn Guidry who could kick it out of the end zone. But, of course, Darren Barbier is hoping for perhaps if you don't kick it out of the end zone, you have a chance of a fumble or something like that. And I guess that's probably what Coach Darren Barbier had in mind.
Good shot from the end zone here.
And Bruce James, again, makes the Hahnville Tigers pay for challenging his abilities.
Shaw at their own 44, 7 seconds to play in the half. Twin setbacks, receivers to either side for Chuck Parquette. Under center, gives it straight ahead. And maybe 3 yards and a fumble on the play, and Hahnville has the ball. Coming out of the pack, down to the 34-yard line with a football for Hahnville. It appeared to be Corey Simmons. Time has run out of the first half, however. On the turnover, we've got ourselves a ball game. Halftime, Tiger Stadium in Boucher, Louisiana. It's Shaw 20 and Hahnville 7. Back with our halftime show in just a few. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
Prep Football on Cox Cable is brought to you by Kenner on the Move and by Bone Ford in New Orleans, your 15-minute confidence dealership.
At the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner, 5 cents goes a long way. The Pontchartrain Center has over 35,000 square feet of exhibit space and 6 spacious meeting rooms, all for just 5 cents a square foot. If you're looking for a place to hold your next convention, meeting, seminar, or banquet, Kenner's Pontchartrain Center is New Orleans' newest meeting alternative. All meal functions are catered by Marie's to assure the finest in banquet cuisine. When you're looking for a quality convention or meeting facility with affordable rates, call the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner.
The 94s are coming, and the 93s must go. And at the original Bone Ford in New Orleans, we're slashing the prices on all new 93s to make room for the 94s. You can get a new 93 Crown Victoria at $3,500 off, or take the Bronco with $6,800 off, or the exciting Taurus SHO with $6,500 off. And they've got all the extras. Every new car, truck, and van will be drastically reduced, so hurry in for low prices, high trade-ins, and low interest rates. These deals won't last long, so come to the original Bone Ford in New Orleans, your 15-minute confidence dealer.
This fall, the new force in prep football is back on Channel 26. Friday Night Football, hosted by Ed Daniels and one of Louisiana's winningest football coaches, J.T. Curtis.
Good job last year. Got Chalmette.
The only place for New Orleans sports fans to catch the complete wrap-up of prep football action is...
Congratulations to them and their coach.
Friday Night Football, live, Fridays at 10:30 on WGNO.
Ken Trahan along with Renee Nato, Lance Jacobs. Second half getting set to begin. 20-7, Shaw on top of Hahnville. Shaw will kick off to start the second half in the person of Robert Wilson. We'll take a look at some first half statistics here momentarily. Deep to receive for the Hahnville Tigers, number 80, Chris Haynes, number 27, Sturdy Downs. And now I'll look at the stats, Renee.
In rushing department, of course, Shaw with 216 yards to Hahnville's 94. Again, it's not how they played, it's how they finished. In the passing department, 3 out of 7, 49 yards. Hahnville 6 out of 10 for 71 yards. Total yards 265 to 165. Quite a differential.
And we're underway in the second half. The kickoff to the short man who breaks a tackle and another. Gets across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. A tough run by Stanley Phillips, who gets it out to about the 37 for Hahnville on the short kick. And the Tigers will have pretty good field position to start the second half. We'll reset the Hahnville offense for you. The first opportunity here, the Hahnville offense. The front once again, Johnson, Keller, Wright, Parang, and Dufresne. Brian Wright's an outstanding player. Clifton White, Harris, and Honor in the backfield. Haynes, not Keynes, but Haynes, Austin, and Joyce, the tight end. Split ends alternate. And the I formation behind Clifton White on first down. Simmons, the up back, the give to the tailback, Honor. Shakes a tackle, gets to about the 38, has 2 yards, and he's driven back. Charge led by Errol Farness, number 70. The big defensive tackle beating the drum. It's
Boy,
second down and 8.
They got the drum beating here, and of course, they got the crowd all jacked up. Shaw with a slight 20-7 lead, but Hahnville with the ball, and you see the starters here defensively. Grimes, Baroness, Camp, and Hebert for the Shaw Eagles. Quite a front four, and Delat, Bustamante is back in, quite a strong player. He benches 300 pounds, sidelined by Petruit, the secondary. Palermo and Roy at corners, Grigsby and Wilson at the safeties.
Second down and 8 yards to go, and the pitch going left, and running room, and close to a first down, and first down yardage for Rondell Honor. As he packed it in there good, lowered his shoulder, dipped it in there, and got first down yardage to about the 48-yard line. And Hahnville has a drive alive in good field position.
Rondell Honor with 63 yards in the first half alone, taking the pitch, going around the left side. Great cutback, great vision right here, great block, a kick-out block. And once again, Kenny, takes about 2 or 3 Shaw Eagles to make the stop. Tim Johnson with a great block for Hahnville.
First and 10, the 48-yard line officially marked at the 48. For Hahnville, the wide side, the right side of the field. Wide left comes Kevin Austin. Wide to the right is Haynes. Two backs once again behind White. The pitch goes to Honor, cutting it back, has room. 50, 45, running through a tackle at a 43, close to another first down. Power football. A little misdirection, and it's worked well. They've been able to do that pretty well all night. Ricky Wilson finally able to make the stop.
And that's a page from the Shaw offense, some misdirection. That's what Hank Tierney lives with that misdirection. And the reason why he does it is because to slow down the onrushing linemen of the Hahnville Tigers. For different reasons, because they're having success, the Hahnville Tigers are using some misdirection with a great deal of success. It looks like there's going to be a measure, maybe a first down. You can see Hank Tierney stepping onto the field, yelling instructions to his troops right now. And Hahnville, really with momentum on their side, is going to be really close for the first down, Ken.
And he's got it. First and 10, Hahnville. The Tigers in Shaw territory at the 43, trailing 20-7. 10:23 to play, third quarter, as the Shaw sideline looks on with great interest at this point. Power football being displayed here by the Hahnville Tigers. The play comes into the game with Nathan Baudouin, the wide receiver. Love these names here in St. Charles Parish.
If you're not from here, don't try to pronounce them, Kenny.
Baudouin, Baudouin, baby.
Good thing we're from here, huh?
First and 10, the 43-yard line. And the give is to Rondell Honor, running right, shakes a tackle, hit hard, and goes down after a gain of 1. Excellent tackle by Ecom Grigsby, who came up to force from his safety spot and really prevented a big play.
And Ecom Grigsby, he's a first-year starter. He's a senior, but the 5'11", 165-pounder really hits like a truck and made a great stop on Rondell Honor, stopping him in his tracks before he got started. Maybe call it a 1-yard gain, Ken.
Well, he played a lot. Started some last year, but played a whole lot, so he's got experience. Those safeties are good players for Shaw. Maybe the strength of their defense this year. Second down and 9. Line of scrimmage is the 43-yard line in Shaw territory. Twin receivers come wide to the left side for Hahnville. And the cutback by White inside the 40 and down to the 38. Started to run the option and cut it right up the middle to about the 38-yard line. Picks up about 4 yards on the play. It's going to be third down and about 5 yards to go. Maybe a short 6, so give him 3 officially.
Jody Hebert with the stop right here, but Corey White was just looking for a place to run, wrapped up inside by Darrell Camp. Again, his brother, Charlie Camp, preceded him here. He's on playing for the Arizona Wildcats right now. A great family tradition, and Darrell Camp wrapped up the quarterback before he got much momentum going forward.
Hebert's only a sophomore, rangy at 6'3", 195. Third down, 6 yards to go for Hahnville. A quick drop and a throw over the middle, and it's intercepted and dropped. Almost intercepted right into the hands of Ecom Grigsby, who must have been surprised. He's frustrated with himself. He couldn't quite hang on to the football as the pass was off the mark.
And the weather, the inclement weather, has dictated some fumbles and things like this, and that's no exception to the rule. Ecom Grigsby, probably in a dry field, would have had an interception going the other way, but he tried to run a little too soon, and also the wet ball probably led to that fumble of the interception.
Fourth down, punting situation. Quinn Guidry's in the punt. They have a fake punt in, and this would be a good spot for that. He would pass underhanded if they use it, Renee. We'll see what Guidry does here. Takes the snap. He's going to kick the ball and angle it toward the sideline. Hits it very well, and he hits it into the end zone. Barely a touchback. Shaw football at the 20-yard line. 8:32 to play in the third quarter, and the Eagles lead 20-7. We'll see the Shaw offense for the first time in the second half, so we'll check out the Shaw team offensively for you. As the crowd looks on, the Hahnville side of the field anxious, hoping that their team can rally to come back. The Shaw offensive front as good as any in the area. Richards Bay, Salzman, Redo, and Menard, big and talented. Parquette is as good as anyone. James has been terrific. Brumfield Miller and Jamal Pack is a big-time tight end for the Eagles. First down and 10, the 20-yard line. Split backs behind Parkett, who barks signals with receivers to either side of the field. Has the snap and gives it to Elo, and Elo's going down. Has nowhere to go. Stuffed immediately, trying to run left, and couldn't get into any success whatsoever. Sturdy Downs brings him down. Up front for Hahnville, the two Pierres, Johnson and Damon Jones, the captain. Davis, McKenzie, and Simmons are the linebackers. Dejon plays quite a bit as well. Phillips, Bruce, Brown, and Downs. Dempster will play quite a bit as well, as he did in the first half. No gain on the play, second down and 10. For Shaw, if anything, they lost a half a yard. Ball spotted between the 19 and 20-yard lines. Under 8 minutes to play, third quarter. Parkett with a snap. Fakes the counter, keeps rolling right under pressure, gets his pass off, tipped and intercepted. It could be a touchdown, and it will for Hahnville. A touchdown, and it's 20-13. Vernon Robisky, just like his uncle used to do it, prancing into the end zone, and the Tigers are within 7 points at 20-13.
Well, he wasn't as flashy as Terry Robisky, number 16 for the Tigers, but let me tell you, a 5'11", 225-pound sophomore, he runs a 4.840. Not bad for a sophomore with that kind of size. And Ken, this was sheer athletic ability. After the ball being tapped away, it shows that Robisky just didn't give up on it. Parkett with a fierce rush right here with Jones. Ball tips away, and Vernon Robisky waits for the gift. The present falls in his hands. The big sophomore stumbles and rumbles into the end zone. And now the Hahnville Tigers are making this into a ball game.
Vernon Robisky into the end zone. It's 20-13, and now Hahnville can cut the lead to 6 with the extra point forthcoming. Discussion going on the field. I'm not sure what it's about, unless Hahnville is trying to get something done. That's why the discussion. There's an injury on the field. A player down on the near side of the field, and zeroing in, we can't quite tell who that is. Might be Robisky, is it? He came up with a touchdown. No, it's not Robisky. It's Donrell McKenzie, the inside linebacker, who's down on the field being tended to. He's at least sitting up now, and that's encouraging, but what a big play there. Gets him back in the football game at 20-13. You know, Hahnville beat East St. John 28-0 in their jamboree before beating Kennedy 49-22 last week. Shaw, meanwhile, was beating a very good Era team in a jamboree convincingly, 28-2 before winning last week, 34-6 over another good West Jeff team. So these teams have been in pretty tough. Here's Guidry to try the extra point. You'll have a great view for TV purposes here out of the hold of Dempster. Good snap, ball down, kick blocked. The kick is blocked. And the ball is picked up and running out of bounds with the ball for Shaw. And the kick blocked. You don't see that much. Guidry not being able to convert. Timeout on the field. 7:44 to play third quarter with our score now. Shaw 20 and Hahnville 13. Back in 30 seconds. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
The 94s are coming, and the 93s must go. And at the original Bone Ford in New Orleans, we're slashing the prices on all new 93s to make room for the 94s. You can get a new 93 Crown Victoria at $3,500 off, or take the Bronco with $6,800 off, or the exciting Taurus SHO with $6,500 off. And they've got all the extras. Every new car, truck, and van will be drastically reduced, so hurry in for low prices, high trade-ins, and low interest rates. These deals won't last long, so come to the original Bone Ford in New Orleans, your 15-minute confidence dealer.
Vernon Robisky, the man of the hour. Number 1, baby. You better believe it. He returns it for a touchdown. What a play by Vernon. Only a sophomore, 6'1", 220 pounds. His team right in it now. 7:44 to play in the third. 20-13 our score. No drive there, just an interception return for a touchdown by Robisky. Big play, and now Hahnville right back in it, and Guidry will try to put one in the end zone here with a dangerous James and Smith back to receive. This standing room only crowd has enjoyed this one thoroughly, and so have we. Guidry ready. Approaches the ball and smacks it hard and smacks it deep, and this one is fumbled at the 1, recovered and run back by Smith outside to about the 15, and that's all. Wiped out inside his own 20-yard line was the freshman Barry Smith. Good coverage by Hahnville, and Shaw will have it in the soup, so to speak, to start this drive following a big turnover, Renee.
Big stop by Damon Jones, and yes, Shaw has their work cut out for him right now, but they do have quite a weapon. Bruce James, 15 carries, Ken, 134 yards and a score in the first half, and what a potent weapon he is, number 33 for the Shaw Eagles.
You can see the replay of tonight's game, folks, listening on radio. Saturday at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. on Cox Metro Channel 10. First down, 10 yards to go. Shaw, the line of scrimmage, their own 13-yard line. The give is straight ahead. Running through tackles, James to about the 18-yard line. Has about 5 yards on the play. He picked his way through a sliver there.
He looked like a chicken running in an alley, Kenny. You just couldn't get a hold of him. You know, you just can't grab him everywhere. It's not much of a hole, but he was just tough to grab, and he's small in stature, 5'9", 155, but a little slippery, a little elusive, and he's got quite a bit of leg strength for a man his size. Again, very, very durable for a man his size. He's going to make someone a great prospect as a college running back.
He hides behind that massive line at 5'9", 155. Second down, 5 yards to go, the 18-yard line. And they give to James again. James shakes a tackle and appears to have a first down out near the 25-yard line before he's finally brought down on the play by Cortrell Davis, a returning star at outside linebacker. This is close to a first down, and James just keeps on going, Renee.
Bruce James, yes, he's like the bunny. I tell you what, he's with that delay. It gives the opportunity for the offensive line to open a hole for him with the blocking scheme and scoot through a hole for more yardage. And 1st and 10 for the Shaw Eagles as they march methodically down the field.
I'm glad you mentioned the bunny. They're not an advertiser, so we won't say the brand name. Folks, you got to buy the time for us to give it to you. 1st and 10, the 24-yard line, the option play and the pitch. Getting a good block, getting outside and getting yardage and going out of bounds with a hard hit. And so goes our microphone. Keith Charlotte down there, and I hope Keith's all right. He looks like he's all right. Has good yardage for Bruce James out near the 30-yard line, a gain of about 6. Keith is smiling. He's laughing. He's okay. The parabolic mic's okay. Boom, schmam, what a hit. He's fine, folks. He's up and running again. He takes a licking and keeps on ticking. He's Keith. Way to go, guy.
All right. I don't know what's more exciting, this run or the hit at the end of the run, but Chuck Parquette pitches the ball outside wide to Bruce James, and wow, what moves he puts in the defensive back. One move there, another move before he goes outside, but couldn't put a move on Keith. He took him down right as the play was complete.
Great camera work. That's called in your face. Second down, the counter play, running room. The 35, a fumble on the play. Who's got the football? Hahnville thinks they have it. Shaw thinks they have it. We'll see. Shaw football. Eagles recover, and they dodge a major bullet there. Is that ball laid on the turf? Now the Eagles come up with it. Save the day. And it will be 3rd down and about a yard to go as a result.
Roy Martin was the Shaw Eagle. That was Johnny on the spot, saved the day for the Shaw Eagles, because had Hahnville got the ball at the Shaw 34-yard line, Kenny, I tell you what, with the momentum they have right now, this has been a different ball game.
Close enough to measure for a first down. The line of scrimmage is going to be the 29. And they stretch the chains. He might have it. He does have a first down at the 34, not the 29, but the 34-yard line for Shaw. 1st and 10 Eagles at their own 34 with 6:01 to play, 3rd quarter, 20-13 Eagles leading the Tigers as Hank Tierney studies the plays he'd like to run here. Whatever involves number 33 looks good tonight. Receivers to either side, the split backs behind Parquette once ago. The counter play, James. There he goes again. He's got more yards. He's got room to the 40. He's got about 5. He is getting quite a workout here tonight, and that white jersey hasn't been white for a long time.
With the cross blocking that Shaw is doing right now with the pulling guard, great blocking, and you see that Bruce James, for those on TV, you can see Bruce James is following his guard, is pulling guard and heading right behind him through the hole. It's a great running room, but the gap is beginning to close just a little bit quicker. Hahnville is playing a little quicker on defense now and closing those gaps.
Simmons and McKenzie there, the backers for the Tigers. 2nd down, we'll call it. 5 yards to go. The counter play. And not much. A big hit after a 2-yard gain, and that's all. Not much running room for Juma Elo. The big stick was put on there by Cortrell Davis. Help from Elgin Pierre. 3rd down and about 2 yards to go. the 43-yard line for Shaw.
Cortrell Davis from his Sam linebacker position. He calls the signals. He's the most active tackler they have. He's the best tackler on the team. Of course, he started as a sophomore this year. Only a junior, Cortrell Davis. Bruce James with 159 yards on 20 totes, Kenny.
The pitch to James. He's in trouble. He's down for a loss at the 40-yard line. Great penetration defensively. Hahnville is held. It looked like Elgin Pierre was there to finish him off.
And this is fast becoming a different team in the second half. Hahnville with a great effort by Elgin Pierre. We told you before that he fills that void when Chris Green left to go to LSU. And Elgin Pierre is the exact type of athlete, almost the same size, not quite as fast, but in fact, I don't know, him and Chris Green probably negotiate the 40 in about 4.5, so he's probably equally as fast as Chris Green, his predecessor.
Robert Wilson, a punt. He got a bad snap earlier. Remember that. He gets a good snap here. He has time, and he gets his kick away, trying to kick it away from the receivers who let it drop. And a ball is fallen on dangerously back at the 31-yard line by Donrell McKenzie, and that's where Hahnville will put it in play with 3:45 to play, third quarter. It's anybody's game. Shaw 20 and Hahnville 13. Turnovers have played a huge role in this ball game.
Particularly in the first half, yes, and also you saw a large part with the penalties also added or retarded the progress of the offenses. And I think once they both settle down, the wet field, it's not really that wet. The field is in pretty good playing shape, although we had a pretty excessive rainfall this afternoon. I think both teams have settled down. The butterflies are gone, and this is quite a game. 20-13, Shaw's lead.
Harris and Honor the setbacks behind the quarterback. The pitch to Honor. The cutback play again with running room to the 35. Look out. The 40. First down yardage to the 43-yard line for Rondell Honor, who's piling up the yards now. And Ricky Wilson and Chris Palermo have to make the stop. And Renee, anytime your secondary members are having to make tackles on the run, you're in trouble.
Just going to say that. You're right. When your secondaries have to come up and make it, they take quite a beating. And, of course, Rondell Honor really with that great first step, initial step, breaking a couple of tackles, or really breaking the first tackle, dragging Bruce with him. And I tell you, it's going to take 2 or 3 guys to bring him to the ground. He's sitting on the sidelines right now. Hopefully it's nothing serious, perhaps just an equipment adjustment right here. But he's being helped to the sidelines, and he'll take a blow, a much-needed rest for Rondell Honor.
Well, they need him back in the game. I'm not sure he's not cramped as he limps toward the bench. They need him in the ball game. He is some player. He's been most of their offense. And that little cutback play has been a huge play for Hahnville in the scheme of things as they've come back in this ball game. Honor now is approaching 100 yards. 13 carries, 98 yards. 3:20 to play, third quarter. 1st and 10, Hahnville, their own 44-yard line. And the fake, he wants to throw. White can't throw, keeps it, runs right, gets to the 47-yard line for about 3. It will be second down along 7.
Clifton White began to pull the string and held it up and decided to tuck it and go. Great stop by Shaw. That was Hebert.
Jody Hebert, the defensive end, making the stop, the sophomore. Short gain, second down. We'll call it 8 yards to go. The 47, 2:48 and counting, third quarter. Here at Tiger Stadium, 20-13, Shaw leading. Clifton White under center, split, rather the I-backs behind him, takes the snap, fakes to the short side, the option keeps. He's at the 45. He appears to have a first down inside the 45-yard line before Ricky Wilson brings him down. And Renee, we've seen the first tackler missing very frequently tonight. That's not a knock on the tacklers. That's a credit to these ball carriers.
Yeah, Ricky Wilson perhaps saved a touchdown, and Clifton White really doing a great job running on his toes right here and just not giving anyone a shot at him. Had the safety not brought him to the ground. Ricky Wilson, we may have seen 6 more points for the Hahnville Tigers.
Another first down. Wilson has to make another stop. Wide to the right goes Haynes. White rolls right, keeping. White gets a block. White's inside the 40. He's down near the 36. Has about 9 more and will be 2nd and 1. Roland Roy on the stop, and the fans are excited on the Hahnville side of the field. Also excited here tonight, down on the sideline, Lance Jacob.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. Excited is the word here in the Tiger Stadium. Let's not forget, Hahnville's on the move, but the last 3 possessions for the Shaw Eagles, 2 turnovers, 1 punt. Hahnville's on the move. Back to you, Kenny.
David Bradford in the game offensively, and he has the ball running left. He's got speed to 35 to 30. Inside the 30, has a first down at about the 26. 10 yards for Bradford in the game for Rondell Honor and running well.
And Bradford, the sophomore, really showing some ability right there. And as he skirts around the left side, he's here to say, when Rondell Honor steps down, I'm here to fill his shoes, much like Rondell Honor filled in for Horace Raymond. And the sophomore shows he's here. He's going to be a player for the Tigers for the future.
He's not a big guy, but he's obviously very quick. He got to the corner pretty quickly there, and the blocking has been there for Hahnville. 1:10 and counting, third quarter, 20 to 13. Tigers driving. 10 carries, 47 yards for Clifton White. First and 10, the 26. White keeps inside. White breaks a tackle, has yardage across the 20. Down to about the 17. He's got about 8 or 9 more.
And White, with that 4.6 speed and great leg strength, he's now, as a passer, 11 attempts, 6 completions, 71 yards and a touchdown. But he shows he can move the ball on the ground as well, and he's done a great job here in the second half with controlling this offense and moving the ball as a junior. Quite a bit of maturity, Ken.
Pertwee and Wilson leading the charge defensively. Clock winding down, 30 seconds to play in the quarter. Could be the last play of the quarter. 2nd and 2 at the Shaw 17. High formation behind White. Who keeps the football? Who gets the first down? Who pushes down near the 12-yard line? 5 yards or more, and Hahnville has another first down. Trying to move in for the tying score as the fans appreciate it. Listen to this crowd. They may or may not get another play off in the third quarter. 10 seconds and counting. Hahnville breaks the huddle to the line of scrimmage. Honor is back in the ball game. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. White with a snap. He's keeping right. Gets a block from Honor. Cuts inside and he scores! Hahnville can draw even with the extra point. 12 yards and a touchdown for Clifton White.
And credit the right side of the line, the blocking, Jacob Dufresne and Philip Perrine, along with Brian Wright on a great blocking scheme for the Hahnville Tigers, and this was a keeper all the way. Also credit Simmons and Rondell Honor with some great lead blocks, allowing Clifton White to scoot through a gap and dance into the end zone. He dragged the tackler with him. It's too late, and now Hahnville has an opportunity to tie it up with no time remaining here in the third period. We begin the fourth quarter.
So Guidry on the last play of the quarter can tie it. He had one block. The snap is good. The ball's down. The kick is good. Timeout on the field. We're through 3 quarters of play at Tiger Stadium, but not yet. Hold everything. There is a flag down. Stop the music. Let's see what happens. Flag down on the far side of the field. Kick was good. Looks like it's going to stay that way.
A dead ball. Encroachment on a white team on half the distance, but played it down over.
Half the distance, they'll play the down over. That's a dead ball foul, so they're going to have to kick again, and that's a bad break for Hahnville. Even though the penalty was against Shaw, Renee, that's a bad break for Hahnville. They take the point off the board, and they make Quinn Guidry do it again.
Exactly, because if you recall, the last time they tried an extra point after following the last score, it was blocked. So every kick is getting to be an adventure in this game, as Shaw has shown in the first half along with Hahnville.
So they'll do it again, and this time the ball will be spotted inside the 10-yard line, about the 8.5, maybe the 9. Out of the hold of Dempster. Can Guidry convert once more? High snap, ball down, kick is good again. 3 quarters are by the boards, and we're about to start over, folks. Hahnville 20 and Shaw 20. Back with a fourth quarter in just a moment on the WSNB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
Experience the distinct flavor of Mr. Roma's gourmet pizza and Italian cuisine. In addition to Mr. Roma's famous spinach pizza, you'll find the delicious combination pizza. Taste the artichoke lasagna, Sicilian stuffed shells, Caesar salad with homemade dressing, and a variety of sandwiches. Dine in, take out, or call for free delivery. For the best in gourmet pizza and Italian cuisine, Mr. Roma on Clearview and Metairie. And now try our new locations on 3rd Street in Kenner and on River Road in Destrehan.
The crowd is excited. The setting is great. Fog starts to roll in. 12 minutes to play. We're tied 20-20. Ken Trahan along with Renee Nato. Lance Jacob on the sideline. Standing room only crowd, and what a game they've been treated to tonight. Hahnville getting it done in a good drive, Renee.
8 plays, 69 yards, consuming 3 minutes and 45 seconds off the clock, Kenny. It was culminated by Clifton White, 12-yard scamper for a touchdown, tying it up. The extra point by Quinn Guidry was good. 20-20. We're all tied up as we begin the final stanza.
Smith and James are deep. Guidry to kick it off, smacks it hard, smacks it deep, and this ball is fielded at the 1-yard line, returnable. And room for Smith to the 20 and down. It closed quickly. Flags are down as well. Damon Jones makes the stop, and there are flags down, and that's likely going to work against Shaw and set them back even further. Boy, that was a big hole initially there, but Jones closed it quickly for the Hahnville Tigers, and the officials talk about it now to determine what the deal is. And
it looks like Ricky Bruce from Hahnville and a Shaw Eagle were in a deep discussion where the flag fell, so we're not sure who the flag's going to go against.
It's going to be holding against Shaw. The Cox
We'll do it over again.
They're going to do it over again. That's what he said, isn't it?
Well, they couldn't decide who was the perpetrator of that foul, so they're going to call it over again. But as we said, we saw Hahnville Tiger and a Shaw Eagle with a deep discussion down about the 10-yard line, so evidently both were at fault. We're going to try it again.
As I was starting to say, the Cox Cable WSMB Prep Football Game of the Week is brought to you in part by Kenner on the Move and Bone Ford in New Orleans, your 15-minute confidence dealership. We also thank WGNO and Friday Night Football for their sponsorship as well. And I say hello to my longtime friend from high school and college who's listening in with a close ear tonight. I know, because he told me he'd be listening and scrutinizing everything we say and criticizing the hell out of us. Ed Daniels in the studio getting ready for his Friday Night Football show tonight, Renee.
Hi, Eddie D. I know he's listening. But anyway, yeah, he does a great job. Him and J.T. Curtis do a great job on Friday Night Football, and to be congratulated is quite an undertaking for such a job with Doug Mouton and a great staff at Channel 26.
Well, Ed's a great friend of mine. It's just too bad he can't do a decent job. But just kidding. He does a great job. We like to poke fun at each other. Of course, I get into most shots. I'm more clever.
Eddie D knows we love him, Kenny.
40-yard line they'll kick off from now, so they did mark off a dead ball, 5-yard penalty against. Guys, that's not true. 40-yard line's correct now. Then it rolls, and the kick is coming down at the 3-yard line and fielded there by Smith. To the 10, the 15, to the 20. Flags down again. Smith down at the 23. And this one will probably go against Shaw once more. And a Shaw player is down on the field. Or no, it's a Hahnville player, excuse me. Writhing in pain, and we'll have to check. It's probably going to be the clip. Ricky Bruce may have been the guy that was struck. He looks like he's okay, though. He's up and walking around, and we'll get the official signal as this is discussed. Official timeout here as they discuss things. Bruce shaking up a bit. Looks like he's going to be all right. He's going to walk off the field under his own power.
We got a block and below the waist. I have an illegal block below the waist on the white team.
Buddy Reese explaining everything we need to know. We don't have to tell the folks. They do it for us. And, of course, that's part of the great crew and the great job that our people with Cox Cable and WSMB do, providing these great pictures, this great sound. And we thank them for their ability to do so. This is pretty fun, isn't it, Ray?
It's a great deal of fun, Kenny. Like I said, I wouldn't exchange seats with anyone. Clifton White, 11 rushes, 59 yards, and a score to tie it all up here as we go into the final quarter here at Tiger Stadium. And I tell you what, there's not standing room only in the end zone. Over 2,000 people standing only behind the end zone here at Tiger Stadium.
James is upended at about the 12. Knifing through to make the stop is Donrell McKenzie. And I mean knifing. He was shooting a gap. Made the play, stopped James, a gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Line of scrimmage is changing a bit, Renee.
It really is, and Bruce James really had a great first half. Of course, the Hahnville Tigers playing a different defense this second half and really have come to life and put the stops on Bruce James. Great first half. He had over 134 yards. Not quite as many the second half. 158 for the total game, but again, only 24 yards coming here in the second half.
2nd and 8 yards to go, the 12. Counter play. Nothing for Smith. Maybe a yard, that's all. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. A gain of about 2 at best. Third down, a long 6 for Shaw, and a big play coming up with 10:45 to play. Tied 20-20 from Tiger Stadium.
You may look for Rick Brumfield or perhaps even Joel Pack, the tight end, to be an open receiver here for Chuck Parquette on a third down and long situation.
Twin receivers left. Twin setbacks behind. Parquette rolls to the far side of the field. He stops, he throws, and it's almost intercepted. Almost intercepted. Intended for D'Artagnan Miller, and Ricky Bruce, bless his heart, almost came up with that football as the pass was off the mark.
And this is a game that turnovers mean an awful lot, and Ricky Bruce almost coming up with an interception, as we said. The intended receiver was D'Artagnan Miller. Chuck Parquette rolling left, throwing across the bow, really throwing a little bit too high, and again, Ricky Bruce nearly coming up with the interception. And I'll tell you what, Hahnville Tigers are really pumped up, and they're going to be getting the ball back in great field position, Kenny.
The receiver was double covered anyway. Not much room there. Haynes is back to receive. A crucial punt from Robert Wilson as the Shaw sideline looks on, very concerned. Hahnville's screaming for a timeout from the sideline, and they finally get one. Dempster signals for timeout. So a timeout on the field taken. 10:21 to play. This game is all even. It's Hahnville 20 and Shaw 20. Back in just a moment. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
At the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner, 5 cents goes a long way. The Pontchartrain Center has over 35,000 square feet of exhibit space and 6 spacious meeting rooms, all for just 5 cents a square foot. If you're looking for a place to hold your next convention, meeting, seminar, or banquet, Kenner's Pontchartrain Center is New Orleans' newest meeting alternative. All meal functions are catered by Marie's to assure the finest in banquet cuisine. When you're looking for a quality convention or meeting facility with affordable rates, call the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner.
And our thanks to the city of Kenner, Pontchartrain Center, Mayor Aaron Broussard, their support of prep football. Here's a fine punt by Robert Wilson. And it's fielded back at the 46, running right. Sturdy Downs the 40, the 35, and down inside the Shaw 30-yard line to the 29-yard line goes Sturdy Downs on the return right. And Hahnville has terrific field position. Speaking of the field, we go down to field level now for this report from Lance Jacob.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. It's taken 3 quarters, but the Hahnville Tigers have pulled back, and it's even now at 20. Credit the defensive line for the Hahnville Tigers taking back the line of scrimmage offensively as well for Hahnville. They're now on the move to score and take the lead. Back up to you, Kenny.
Thank you, Lance. You'll be presenting the AAA Trophies Player of the Game award at the conclusion of this one and talking to the winning coach and that player as well. 1st and 10, the 29-yard line. Under center is Clifton White, and giving to Rondell Honor, breaks a tackle, fights his way to the 28, and that's all. Heavy traffic. Good job defensively by Shaw. A lot of traffic there, led by Jody Hebert and Roland Roy, among others. Getting the job done. Darrell Camp on the bottom of the stack as well. A gain of 1, 2nd and 9, the 28.
And he broke a tackle by Louis Bustamante. He's the strongest team member of the Shaw Eagles. He squats 450, bench presses 300 pounds. That's no easy tackle, and Rondell Honor cut through him like a knife through butter, Kenny.
99 yards for Honor. One more for that magic mark. The keeper by White gets a block from Honor and slips down at about the 23-yard line. A gain of about 5 yards on the play, up to force Ricky Wilson. Quarterback White frustrated with himself as he slipped just a bit, trying to cut it back. Did you see how he used Honor? Just kind of pushed him in front of him, said, hit that guy, would you? I'm following you, big guy. That's a good idea.
And one guy who we've mentioned his name before, Tim Johnson, number 72. He's a senior, 5'11", 185. He's doing a great job. Clifton White, with 12 carries, 64 yards. Tim Johnson, as I began to say, he's blocking on people, giving away perhaps 70 pounds and doing an outstanding job from his left tackle. The senior from Hahnville, a leader on that offensive front wall for the Tigers.
Big 3rd down and 4 for Hahnville, wide side, the right side of the field. Twin receivers that way, the I formation and the option play. And the pitch knocked down. It's on the ground. Shaw has the football. The pitch was knocked down, and the Shaw Eagles come up with a football. Chris Palermo, 21, has the ball. And Shaw forces a big turnover with 8:38 to play. Great penetration there. They actually knocked down the pitchback, Renee.
They really did, and they took away any option they had right there. Clifton White, as he was beginning to pitch the ball, It was batted, as you can see right here. It hits the up back as he was going through the line. It would have been a fake handoff and a pitch, and maybe Clifton White has used poor judgment in pitching the ball just a little too quickly, but Shaw does get possession back and deep in their own territory, but a lot of time left to go.
You're right. It looked like it hit Kendall Harris, the up back, in the back. Shaw ball, the 27-yard line, split backs behind Parkett on 1st and 10. They get straight ahead. Elo breaks a tackle in the secondary to 35 and out to about the 36-yard line, close to a first down. Is Juma Elo. Ricky Bruce on the stop. And a big gain for Shaw, about 9 yards. Elo had a touchdown against West Jeff a week ago and a 28-yard TD in the Jamboree win over Eric.
And Elo, who's thrown a first touchdown pass in the first half, shows he can do more than throw. He runs from his tailback position. The backup quarterback does a great job before being tripped by Ricky Bruce. And second and short yardage for the Shaw Eagles.
2nd and 1, the 36-yard line. Shaw line moved prematurely, and that's going to hurt. It's going to cost the Eagles 5 yards.
LJ.
So instead of 2nd and 1, they go to L.J. Strohmeyer for the call. It is a false start on Shaw.
All right, we have a false start on the offensive team.
So a false start against the Eagles will cost them 5 yards, and instead of 2nd and 1, it makes it 2nd and 6. And the line of scrimmage will be the 31 with exactly 8 minutes to play in this ball game. What a game we've had. 20-20 our score as the Shaw sideline looks on. Frustrated with that one. We've seen some mistakes in this game, but that's typical of an early season game, Renee.
It is, and I think hopefully they got all the mistakes out of their basket before the season gets underway.
The district season, which really matters. The option of the pitch left to James. He cuts inside, breaks a tackle, and gains about 3, maybe 4 to the 34. And goes down. Short gain on the play, short of a first down. It will be 3rd down and about 3 yards, a long 3. Ball will be spotted at the 34. They need just about the 38-yard line. So a big play coming up. Play in from the sidelines with D'Artagnan Miller, who's had a very fine game catching the football. What a crowd we have tonight.
The best way I can describe Bruce James is his output tonight. He's really emptied his bucket, Kenny. He's given everything he had tonight. 5'9", 155-pound senior. Boy, he plays with 110%. 161 yards for the senior.
Rolling right is Parkett. Stopping, throwing over the middle, and complete to the 50-yard line. The 45, he may go. The 40, and a saving tackle at the 38-yard line made by Sturdy Downs on the receiver for Shaw. Ricky Brumfield, the flanker, and a big pass and catch. Parkett to Brumfield, and a first down Shaw at the Hahnville 39.
It was only a matter of time before Parkett was going to go to his receivers, and as Brumfield does a crossing pattern right here, he lays it right on the hands of Brumfield with that 4.7 speed. He turns it upfield, and had it not been for the tackle, the saving tackle by Sturdy Downs, you're right, Shaw would have had a 6-point advantage right here with 6 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the final quarter.
Damon Jones got up in the air, and I mean Parkett threw it right through his arms to get it there. A perfect throw. Brumfield, the best receiver on the Shaw team, had 3 catches for 62 yards against West Jeff a week ago. 1st and 10, the counter play. James, the 35, down about the 32-yard line. He has 6 and maybe 7 yards and adds to that monstrous total he has already.
He's approaching the 200-yard mark, and Sturdy Downs not only made a tackle downfield, he made a saving tackle on Bruce James just now, and Bruce James continues to impress. He's approaching the 30-yard carry for the game. He's over 20 carries for this game. He's averaging about 15 carries a game, and the Shaw senior has done an outstanding job here against an outstanding defense, the Hahnville Tigers.
2nd and 3 now from the 32-yard line. Parkett, the play fake, wants to throw. Flares it out to James. A little quick pitch, and he's gone down for a loss. And a flag is down on the far side of the field, and it looks like Damon Jones makes the stop on James for a loss of about 2. Flag on the far side of the field. We'll check that. It's going to be holding.
On the offense.
Holding on Shaw, and that's going to hurt the Eagles. Well, that's not the play they had called, Renee, clearly. Parkett was looking downfield, but had his safety foul than James, but really nothing there.
We can't credit the defensive backfield for the Hahnville Tigers for causing him to go to a secondary receiver and perhaps cause that penalty, which pushes Shaw back just a little bit and makes it a little more difficult for that first down drive.
Eagles were going for the big play there. They were running the ball pretty well, but decided to try to cross him up, go for the big play. It backfires, and here's the penalty being marked off against the Eagles, and that hurts them. A big mark-off. This one's going to go all the way back to just about midfield. That's a huge mark-off, and I'm trying to figure out that mark-off. Line of scrimmage was the 32, and the The ball ends up near the 50-yard line. That's almost an 18-yard penalty.
You got second down and a $20 cab ride now for a first down. And you know, with just 5 minutes to go now, Shaw's going in the wrong direction. They had some momentum going their way, and Hahnville is feeding off this momentum and doing a great job.
3 of 9, 50 yards, 2 interceptions for Parkett, who drops in a pocket to throw, stops, looks, throws over the middle, and caught! And close to a first down is Ricky Brumfield down to the 32-yard line. We'll take a quick timeout here. Back in just a moment. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
The best ribs in town.
And the best prep highlight show in town.
Stonebreakers Restaurant and WGNO TV connect on Friday Night Football.
Each Friday night, watch the award-winning Friday Night Football at 10:30 on our big screen. If you're hustling back from the game, don't worry about missing a thing. We'll replay the show from 11 to midnight, serving a special Friday Night Football menu.
That's Friday Night Football
at Stonebreakers Restaurant.
The place to be after the game.
Inside this young man burns an aggressive streak and a talent that has made ordinary life impossible. Scott Pruitt.
Down to the 29-yard line is James, close to a first down on 3rd and 3 as he runs off the right side. And we may have a measurement here, awfully close. They gave it to Bruce James on 3rd and 3 off the right side. We have a chance to watch it again via our Cox Cable replay, Renee.
And he runs into a wall and named Donrell McKenzie, and the way that coaching staff at Hahnville describes him.
Well, we're watching the pass, actually.
This is a pass right now. I'm sorry, as we watch Brumfield bring in the pass, which got him back some much-needed territory and give him an opportunity to go for a first down, which they just got. So now Shaw with first down territory about the 30-yard line of Hahnville. And Hahnville has to stiffen up their defense right now and once again rise to the occasion.
29-yard line to be precise, and that clock is winding down. 4:15, and it's rolling. First down, 10 Eagles from the Hahnville 29. A big drive alive for Shaw. They overcame a big penalty. Clutch passes, Parkett to Brumfield on this drive. Split backs, receivers to either side. The counter play, James running left, cuts it inside, dives forward to about the 24-yard line, maybe the 23, a gain of 5 or 6 yards for Bruce James, who sticks it in there pretty good for a guy his size.
Yes, he does, and once again, he never seems to run out of energy. Kenny continually pounds away, and he's not getting all his yards outside. He's getting in between the tackles, and again, credit some great blocking by Rito and Bay up in the inside, but great running.
We'd like to thank Prime Equipment in Westwego for providing the scissor lift camera platform, high-tech signs at Harahan for our banners, and Coca-Cola for providing refreshments for the crew. Second down and 5 of the 24, and the give is on the pitch to James running right. James eludes a tackle, goes out of bounds, and is close to his first down, and a late hit will really cost Hahnville. Boy, that's a big penalty there.
And Ricky Bruce laid the lumber to Bruce James, and it looks like it was just, perhaps he didn't know he was out of bounds when he hit him. But yes, it's going to tack on some extra yards, and right now Shaw is getting the momentum from the offense, and now is going to get some extra yardage.
Personal foul, defense.
That will be a first down and more, as Lenny Reese was telling us about it. Mark-off will ensue now, and that's going to put the Eagles down near the doorstep as a result of this mark-off. It's going to be down near the 9 or 10-yard line. See where it ends up. Looks like it's going to be right around the 10-yard line, and that's where Shaw will have it. First down.
First down.
Ball is sitting right on the stripe. So they may or may not be able to get a first down. It's that close. The chain is stretched out right on the pylon. I don't think he can get a first down. They've laid it down, so no, he cannot get a first down here. The officials decide. So officially first and goal, but at the 10-yard line with 3:15 to play. Receivers on either side, the split backs, tight end on the left. Counter play, James inside with a hole. James will score, and Shaw will lead 26-20. Bruce James from 10 yards out with his second touchdown of the game unties this contest.
and he ran right behind Jeremy Bay, and Chris Salzman opened a gaping hole in the Eagle offensive front and allowed Bruce James to scamper through for a touchdown, a 10-yard run, and puts the Shaw Eagles ahead right now, 26-20. 3 minutes left to go, Kenny, as you said, but a lot of football yet to be played. And thus far, the extra points have been an adventure, whoever scores.
And this is a big extra point. Jason Fortunato is going to try it for Shaw. They've had some problems, as you mentioned. Ball down, kick in the air, and it's good. He knocks it through. Time out on the field with 3:09 to play with our score. Archbishop Shaw 20 and the Hahnville Tigers, rather Archbishop Shaw 27 and the Hahnville Tigers 20. We'll get it right. And we'll be back with more Trying to Get It Right on the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
The 94s are coming, and the 93s must go. And at the original Bone Ford in New Orleans, we're slashing the prices on all new 93s to make room for the 94s. You can get a new 93 Crown Victoria at $3,500 off, or take the Bronco with $6,800 off, or the exciting Taurus SHO with $6,500 off. And they've got all the extras. Every new car, truck, and van will be drastically reduced, so hurry in for low prices, high trade-ins, and low interest rates. These deals won't last long, so come to the original Bone Ford in New Orleans, your 15-minute confidence dealer.
3:09 to play, 27-20. Shaw on top, and a very impressive drive for the Eagles.
9 plays, 73 yards, 5 minutes, 29 seconds off the clock, culminated by a Bruce James 10-yard scamper, his second touchdown of the night. 27-20, Shaw on top.
The kickoff by Wilson is fielded at the 13 to the 15 to the 20, outside the 25 to 30, and out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. Pretty good return and pretty good field position for the Hahnville Tigers as Haynes returns it, and the Tigers will start from their own 34-yard line with exactly 3 minutes to play. Plenty of time to get it done. 27-20 Eagles, and this drive will be the ball game one way or the other.
I think Clifton White, you'll see Clifton White with a lot of quarterback keepers. He's had some success running behind his interior lineman, but I think you're going to have to see him air it out just a little bit. He may have to go to Haynes to open up and keep the defensive backfield honest of the Shaw Eagles.
3 receivers to the far side of the field, the left side, a single setback. He has the ball. Honor running left. Honor gets a block. He's outside, gets another block. He's at the 40. He's out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. He has about 8 yards and gets out of bounds, so that's a good play for Hahnville with 2:52 to play.
Very good play, Kenny. Good call, and well defensed. Rondell Honor with the great night himself, exceeding the century mark. He's probably in the 120, 130-yard mark for the evening thus far. If he hasn't had it thus far, he will have it before the night's over. And credit Bruce James and Rondell Honor, both exceptional runners in this game tonight.
Little question about that. 2 prime candidates for the AAA Trophies Player of the Game, which is forthcoming. 2:52 to play. Second down, a short 2 for Hahnville. Line of scrimmage is the 43. 3 wide receivers to the right. Watch them run that way again. Shotgun. They run up the middle with a quarterback. White evades a tackle, has a first down and more. He's at midfield. He's down to the Shaw 49. He has a first down as he picks up 8 yards with 2:44 to play.
Clifton White shows why he's such an exceptional talent. He not only runs hard, he's a tough player to bring down in the open field, but he's got some unbelievable feet. As you see Clifton White with the quarterback keeper up the middle, and as he's moving forward, he's really dancing on his toes. He doesn't give any defender a good shot at him, and he gets about 3 or 4 opportunities for the defenders to take him to the ground. But quite a runner, Clifton White, in his own right, and he's also having a great game on the ground as well as via the air.
He had a year last year, 52 of 120. 888 yards, 11 touchdowns. Tonight, 15 carries, 85 yards. Rushed for 380 yards last year. Quick pass to Honor on the flat right. Breaks a tackle and gets to the 45-yard line. Picks up about 5 yards in Shaw territory, but the clock will continue to run. 2:18 and counting. 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5 Tigers. They're going to go to the huddle, and that will eat some time. They still have time, however.
Bustamante and wakes the tackle here, but Rondell Honor breaks one tackle before Bustamante puts his shoulder into him, brings him rudely to the ground. For, 2nd down, 5 to go for the Hahnville Tigers.
Inside of 2 minutes to play, 1:56 and counting. The snap to White. Play fakes in the pocket, stops, throws sideline, has his man. Austin breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, 35-30. He's down. He lost the ball, but he was down, and that's a first down at about the 30-yard line. for Kevin Austin, who had a 17-yard touchdown catch against Kennedy a week ago. He comes up big here.
Kevin Austin, really the unsung hero, because he teams up with Chris Haynes, but a great throw from Clifton White to Kevin Austin. Kevin Austin with that 4.6 speed, breaking a couple of tackles. Not a big runner, 150 pounds, but tremendous ability, tremendous effort, breaking 2 tackles, and as you said, the ball popped loose, but he was ruled down, so first down for the Hahnville Tigers.
We can see it clearly on our replay. He was down, 1:30 to play. The pitch to Honor running left, gets one block and slips down in the backfield. He slipped on the turf, down at the 31, a loss of 1. It will be 2nd and 11, and the clock will run. Hahnville may need to start taking timeouts soon. Clock is down to 1:15. They're running the play in from the sideline. They really need to start thinking about the hurry up here. 1:10 to play. White 8 for 13, 91 yards, a touchdown, a fine day all around, running and passing as you would expect. Clock down to 1:02, flat pass, and Haynes catches it for a first down, or close to a first down, near the 20. He may be a half a yard short. A terrific catch by Haynes. Just short of a first down, though. With 53 seconds left, Hahnville will take a timeout here. So we'll take a 30-second timeout as well. 53 seconds to play. Shaw 27, Hahnville 20. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
This fall, the new force in prep football is back on Channel 26. Friday Night Football, hosted by Ed Daniels and one of Louisiana's winningest football coaches, J.T. Curtis.
Good job last year. Got Chalmette.
The only place for New Orleans sports fans to catch the complete wrap-up of prep football action is...
Congratulations to them and their coach.
Friday Night Football, live, Fridays at 10:30 on WGNO.
Our thanks tonight to our very fine spotter, Chris Sturkin, and to our statistician, Craig Trahan, as well. Guys, a great job. You make our jobs a lot easier. We thank you. It's nice to have such wonderful talent on board on our side. 3rd and 1, the 21, the pitch running right to Honor, a first down and out of bounds near the 15. The kind of play Hahnville needed. Quick one, yardage, first down, clock stops without burning a timeout. 48 seconds left.
And yes, the important part of that play, right, the way he finished it, and of course, Rondell Honor is walking a little gingerly on that ankle. We hope it's not an ankle injury. 48 seconds remaining, 48 ticks, and of course, if Hahnville is fortunate enough to score, Kenny, you know there's no decision going for 1 or 2.
48 seconds to play at the 15-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. Hahnville. Twin receivers split out to the left side. Brent Taylor along with Terrence Dunmiles. The quick toss, then way in the flat. 13, and that's all. A pickup link in the middle. In fact, with 30 seconds to play, this is not helping the Tigers. Play in from the sideline. Clifton White will try to hurry up to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 8, and the clock is all the way down now to 20 seconds. And confusion and the I formation. White under center with the snap. Drops, looks, he's going to run. Cuts it inside, runs into his blocker, breaks a tackle, gets to about the 8-yard line. 9 seconds left, 8 seconds left, and a timeout will be called. They stop it with 9. Timeout Hahnville. A timeout as they got down within 2 yards of the first down. It will be 3rd down and about 2.5 to go with the ball inside the 8 with 9 seconds to play.
Kenny, I tell you what, they don't make them any better than this. And the coaches, the Shaw coaches are to our right in our vantage point of the press box. The Hahnville coaches are to our left. You see Darren Barbie giving instructions to his troops right here. But I tell you what, no one is sitting in this press box. Seats are not a prerequisite right now. And yes, the 9 seconds are going to tell the tale of this game. 27-20, Shaw with a slight lead. But wow, what a play coming up right now.
Well, this might be the ball game. They may have one play, they may have 2. It just depends on how much time it takes. We're trying to listen in here. Couldn't quite get the language being used there in terms of what the play will be. Depends on how much time the play takes, but 2 things to be accomplished for Hahnville as we look at the Shaw sideline. First of all, they need a first down. It's 3rd and 3. The bigger picture is they need a score. They're down by 7 with 9 seconds left. Wide to the left side goes Kevin Austin. Haynes in the slot to the right. Shotgun formation, White the snap, the blitz is on, throws for Haynes to the end zone, tipped and incomplete with 4 seconds left in the end zone. Tipped, incomplete, Roland Roy with a defensive play, and you had to wait on that one because Mr. Haynes was still in the vicinity.
What a defensive gem by Roland Roy, the left cornerback, senior cornerback, and Clifton White really threw the ball a little too low, gave an opportunity to Roland Roy to get up his hands and knock it away. Chris Haynes almost had another opportunity on the way down to the rebound, just couldn't pull it in. 4 seconds, Kenny, no doubt. This is the last play of the game.
Well, a timeout taken by Hahnville. We're going to keep it right here in this situation with 4 seconds to play. 27-20 is our score. Shaw on top. Shaw jumped down in this game and had a commanding lead early on. They led 20-0 in this game. Hahnville then scored the next 20 points. Shaw then took the lead with 3:09 to play. And we listen in to the huddle of Hahnville. Well, we heard the word shotgun, Renee. Then we heard I, so we'll have to wait and see. I got to believe it's going to be shotgun.
I think you're looking for a fade route coming up or perhaps a crossing route with Chris Haynes as the primary target. 4 seconds. This will tell a tale right now, Ken.
There's not a fan sitting in this stadium right now. Everyone is up on both sides of the field, standing around the field. 4 seconds left. Shotgun formation. Trips that left. Haynes to the right. The last chance. White in the pocket, pumps, throws to the end zone, and incomplete out of the end zone. No flags. Shaw wins 27-20 over Hahnville in a great football game.
What a game, what a finish. 2 excellent teams, and this will not be the last time you see these 2 teams meet. You may see them meet down the road in the state championship. Darren Barbier and Hank Tierney, what an emotional moment, Ken.
What a football game. These 2 coaches have the greatest respect for each other. They're hugging and comforting each other at the center of the field. These 2 teams are going to have a lot to say, not only throughout the New Orleans area this year, but statewide. Shaw, the 16th ranked team in the nation, holds off Hahnville, and I do mean holds them off, 27-20. That last play again, just to recap it. Shotgun formation, White had time. Pump faked once. Haynes just couldn't get loose, Renee. And then the ball was thrown pretty much out of the end zone. Haynes really didn't have a chance to make a play on the ball. And that was the ball game. But you got to give the Shaw defensive backs, Wilson, Roy, Grigsby, Palermo, credit, as they had 4 receivers to cover, 3 on the left, 1 on the right, and a very good one in Haynes. As the players exchange congratulations, what a victory for Shaw on the road at Hahnville. This place has been the death pit for just about everyone for many years now. It's almost impossible to get out of here with a win. Shaw did tonight, but what a struggle it took as they won it 27-20 over the Hahnville Tigers, who dropped to 1-1. Shaw improves to 2-0, and what a football game. There's not much more to say. You hate to hurl superlatives too many times, but this one certainly deserved it.
There's no losers in this game, Ken. Believe me, there's just the Hahnville Tigers came out of the short end of the stick of the score, but I can promise you that as the players cross one another as they go by to offer congratulations, they're telling one another, we'll see you down the road, and you can bet they'll be there when the smoke clears.
Well, the good news for us, we'll see both of these teams again. We have Hahnville and Destrehan, the showdown here. St. Charles Parish later this year. We've got Shaw against St. Aug. We got Shaw against Jesuit as well coming up later this year, so we'll see these teams more than once. And Renee, is there any doubt that Bruce James, number 33, is our AAA trophies player of the game?
You won't get an argument from me, Kenny. He did everything he could possibly do, let alone selling popcorn, but he did return kicks and did an outstanding job on the ground and an outstanding job blocking. So yes, credit Bruce James with an outstanding effort tonight.
All right, so we'll get Lance Jacob to get Bruce James and get the Victoria's head coach Hank Tierney and make the trophy presentation coming up. Stay with us. Our final score, 27-20. Shaw defeats Hahnville. We'll take a timeout here. Back with more momentarily. This is the WSMB Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
Prep Football Cox Cable was brought to you by Kenner on the Move and Bone Ford in New Orleans, your 15-minute confidence dealership.
The 94s are coming, and the 93s must go. And at the original Bone Ford in New Orleans, we're slashing the prices on all new 93s to make room for the 94s. You can get a new 93 Crown Victoria at $3,500 off, or take the Bronco with $6,800 off, or the exciting Taurus SHO with $6,500 off. And they've got all the extras. Every new car, truck, and van will be drastically reduced, so hurry in for low prices, high trade-ins, and low interest rates. These deals won't last long, so come to the original Bone Ford in New Orleans, your 15-minute confidence dealer.
At the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner, 5 cents goes a long way. The Pontchartrain Center has over 35,000 square feet of exhibit space and 6 spacious meeting rooms, all for just 5 cents a square foot. If you're looking for a place to hold your next convention, meeting, seminar, or banquet, Kenner's Pontchartrain Center is New Orleans' newest meeting alternative. All meal functions are catered by Marie's to assure the finest in banquet cuisine. When you're looking for a quality convention or meeting facility with affordable rates, call the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner.
This fall, the new force in prep football is back on Channel 26. Friday Night Football, hosted by Ed Daniels and one of Louisiana's winningest football coaches, J.T. Curtis.
Good job last year. Got y'all met.
The only place for New Orleans sports fans to catch the complete wrap-up of prep football action is...
Congratulations to them and their coach.
Friday Night Football, live, Fridays at 10:30 on WGNO.
Our final score from Tiger Stadium once again tonight, 27-20. Shaw defeats Hahnville. Ken Trahan along with Renee Nato, a great game. And right now, Renee, let's go down to the field for the guys who made it possible. Our AAA Trophies player of the game, Bruce James, the head coach of the Shaw Eagles, Hank Tierney, and our Lance Jacob. Lance?
Thanks, Kenny. I'm standing here, of course, with Bruce James and Coach Hank Tierney of the Shaw Eagles. Bruce, 28 carries, 189 yards, and 2 touchdowns. What a night.
Well, our offensive line and wide receivers did a great job of blocking once again, so that's the reason for the success, I guess. You know.
Tell me a little bit about the field. You went up against a good defense in the Hahnville defense. The crowd, it had to be exciting to play in this type of atmosphere.
Yeah, it was a great experience to play here with all the fans, and, you know, the field didn't really affect us, so, you know. Man, like I said, it was a great game, and I'm glad we put one.
You glad it's over, huh?
Yeah, I'm very glad.
Now, you go up 20 points. I guess you had a feeling they would come back. They're a good team.
Yeah, right. Well, we knew they were always in the game, so we couldn't relax a bit.
Congratulations, Bruce. We'll look for you down the road.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. All right, Bruce. Coach, great game. You went up against, of course, a good friend. Couldn't have been a better game for you.
Yeah, it was a great game. I'll tell you, the people certainly got their money's worth, that's for sure. At halftime, you know, we gave up a cheap touchdown before that. We should have won in 20-0, you know, and we gave them momentum. And in this stadium, when they home, you know, they so hard to beat and such great fan support that momentum we gave them right before the half, I think, turned the whole game around. It was my fault. I had a dumb call. Put them back in the game on the middle screen that was intercepted. And once they got momentum, you know, they got the ball the second half. We knew, you know, we was going to have to fight. And then my quarterback had a little shoulder injury in the third quarter. And I kind of shut him down. And, you know, he's the key to our offense. You know, we run the option with him throwing. And he finally came to me and said, Coach, I'm all right, you know. And then we started throwing and running the option, and we were able to drive 80 yards, a real clutch drive. But Bruce is a great player. He's been a great player for 3 years. You know, I'm not surprised by what he did tonight.
They went 20 down. They had to come back from adversity. You watched a 20-point lead disappear. You have to be proud of your offense because they came back also.
Very much so. You know, we have a very experienced offense, you know, so we always think we can score when we get the ball. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't move the ball better in the second half, but that's partially my fault. Like I said, when a quarterback was hurt, and I kind of shut it down and just tried to pound them, and you know, they crowded the line of scrimmage. I didn't take advantage of what they were giving us, but we were still able to persevere and win against an excellent football team.
All's well that ends well, and of course we'll present Bruce James with this trophy for being the player of the game. It'll go to the coach, and after the end of the school year, it'll go to him.
Okay.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Kenny, Renee, back up to you.
All right, thanks very much, Lance. 27-20, Shaw has won. The Eagles move to 2-0. Hahnville drops to 1-1, but certainly not a reflection of the type of team that Hahnville is. There's always a winner, there's always a loser, but as you alluded to earlier, Renee, really no loser tonight. This game will get both of these teams well prepared for their district slates.
Yes, I think both teams learned some lessons tonight that they can open it up a little bit. Of course, eliminate the mistakes, and it was a great game. It really was from both sides. Of course, you had to come up with a winner and a loser, and Shaw came up with the better end here, but I think Hahnville will be a force to be reckoned with. And I'll tell you what, Kenny, you hear from both these teams before it's over with in the 1993 season. They may even face one another in the state championship game. I wouldn't be surprised.
Football on a Friday night in Boutte at Hahnville in Tiger Stadium. It's quite a thrill. These fans were standing throughout most of the game, standing room only, in fact, around the entire field. They saw a great football game, and so did we. It was a great pleasure to bring it to you. Of course, we have a Another good game coming up next week. The Archbishop Rummel Raiders and the Lawless Pythians will do battle at Musperlino Playground in our neck of the woods, Renee. And certainly Rummel's off to a pretty good start, and they have a very good quarterback in Rick Collada, and that ought to be a fun game to watch.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to watching all the games here on Cox Cable. And Kenny, it's always a pleasure to be with you and a great crew here, and looking forward to getting back with you guys once again.
We'll see you again very soon. Come on out to the game next week since you're in the neighborhood. Steve Barrios will rejoin me next week, but Renee will be back with us in a couple of weeks. So we'll be bringing you the best games throughout the course of the season right here on Cox Cable, Metro Channel 10 throughout the course of the season. Our final once again tonight was Archbishop Shaw defeating the Hahnville Tigers by the score of 27-20. I'd like to thank our statistician Craig Trahan tonight, our spotter Chris Sturkin as well, and the entire crew from Cox Cable. They make it possible. They do a great job in bringing these great pictures and let us have some fun in the process. 27-20, Shaw beats Hahnville next week. Rummel and Lawless right here on Cox Cable, 3 and 8 p.m. on Saturday evening, 11 a.m. on Sunday morning. 3 chances to see it, 3 for the price of 1. You can't beat that. For Renee Nato and Lance Jacob, I'm Ken Trahan saying thank you for joining us this evening, and until next week, so long for just a while.